Winter is just around the corner, and Danny Menhold Toyota has the right cars and trucks to handle it right here in Rapid City. Like a new 2024 Tundra, we've got 30 here and inbound with financing as low as 1.99% APR or a $2,000 factory rebate. Take advantage of low lease payments on new 4x4 trucks and SUVs and new all-wheel drive cars, including Camry. Find your new Toyota right here at Danny Menhold Toyota or DannyMenholdToyota.com.
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping Services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our two locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, exit 48, Somerset.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Zee Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Zee Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers is a trusted real estate advisor in the Black Hills. She brings precision, dedication, and clear communication to every transaction. Melissa focuses on service, not sales, always putting her clients first. She's also passionate about supporting local youth activities, helping to strengthen communities and build a brighter future for our kids. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Melissa is here to guide you every step of the way. Stop in or call Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers today.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
For 125 years, Security First Bank has been the bank. a dependable fixture of the community and innovators of what comes next. As we celebrate our history, we remain committed to your dreams with dedicated and driven people, expertise, and attention. Because when you're at the bank, you're driven by the people who are your customers, neighbors, and friends. And that's been our commitment since 1898. Security First Bank. We're the bank.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Dylan Kessler today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
The big Danny Mennel discounts are back at Danny Mennel Rapid Chevrolet. Shop over 130 new Chevys in stock now. SUVs like Equinox, Blazer, Tahoe, and more. Save up to $3,250 off MSRP on a new 24 Equinox LT, now $28,840. Or get financing as low as 1.9% APR and make no payments for 90 days. We're offering top dollar for all trades. See us at Danny Mennel Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMennelRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're closing out all remaining new 2024 Hondas at Danny Mennel Rushmore Honda. While selections last, we're offering 0% APR financing on new 2024s. You heard that right. 0% financing on new Hondas. Choose from Accords, Accord Hybrids, Ridgelines, and Odysseys, all with 0% financing. We haven't made an offer this big in several years. But don't wait. This 0% offer is only good while selections last. See us at Danny Mennel Rushmore Honda or at RushmoreHonda.com.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm Agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hi,
Hi, this is Nate Brown reminding you to join the Nate Brown Show live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's Rapid City's sports talk show and Rapid City's only call-in radio show with big-name guests from across the country to the local sports coverage you just can't get anywhere else. Join the conversation every weekday for thought-provoking sports talk. This is your show. Don't miss the Nate Brown Show from 4 to 6 p.m. on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. and stream us all the time at foxsportsrapidcity.com.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Winter is just around the corner, and Danny Menhold Toyota has the right cars and trucks to handle it right here in Rapid City. Like a new 2024 Tundra, we've got 30 here and inbound with financing as low as 1.99% APR or a $2,000 factory rebate. Take advantage of low lease payments on new 4x4 trucks and SUVs and new all-wheel drive cars, including Camry. Find your new Toyota right here at Danny Menhold Toyota or DannyMenholdToyota.com.
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping Services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our two locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, Exit 48, Somerset.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. so farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Zee Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Zee Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
Melissa Christensen with Angle & Volkers is a trusted real estate advisor in the Black Hills. She brings precision, dedication, and clear communication to every transaction. Melissa focuses on service, not sales, always putting her clients first. She's also passionate about supporting local youth activities, helping to strengthen communities and build a brighter future for our kids. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Melissa is here to guide you every step of the way. Stop in or call Melissa Christensen with Angle & Volkers today.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
For 125 years, Security First Bank has been the bank, a dependable fixture of the community and innovators of what comes next. As we celebrate our history, we remain committed to your dreams with dedicated and driven people, expertise, and attention. Because when you're at the bank, you're driven by the people who are your customers, neighbors, and friends. And that's been our commitment since 1898. Security First Bank. We're the bank.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Dylan Kessler today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
The big Danny Mennel discounts are back at Danny Mennel Rapid Chevrolet. Shop over 130 new Chevys in stock now. SUVs like Equinox, Blazer, Tahoe, and more. Save up to $3,250 off MSRP on a new 24 Equinox LT, now $28,840. Or get financing as low as 1.9% APR and make no payments for 90 days. We're offering top dollar for all trades. See us at Danny Mennel Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMennelRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're closing out all remaining new 2024 Hondas at Danny Mennel Rushmore Honda. While selections last, we're offering 0% APR financing on new 2024s. You heard that right, 0% financing on new Hondas. Choose from Accords, Accord Hybrids, Ridgelines, and Odysseys, all with 0% financing. We haven't made an offer this big in several years. But don't wait. This 0% offer is only good while selections last. See us at Denny Menalt Rushmore Honda or at RushmoreHonda.com.
Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium on this Thursday night. With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday night with us as we get you set for tonight's battle between the Rapid City Central Cobblers and the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Welcome to the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J take the stress away and get your vehicle back on the road. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. We've got a lot to get to in our pregame show, so let's get rolling. Rapid City Stevens comes in the designated home team for this contest, and they come in with a record of 0-8. While Rapid City Central sits at 1-7 on the season. Now, the Raiders faced a lot of adversity this season, and the Cobblers broke their 29-game losing streak. So, Dean, obviously bragging rights on the line tonight, but what else is at stake in tonight's matchup?
Oh my, there's so much more at stake tonight. This is basically playoff. It's playoff atmosphere. It's a playoff game. The winner moves on and makes the playoffs and will play someone East. Depends on who wins. It's not a guarantee it's going to be the same team. On the other side, the loser is done. They're going home. And now you might think about that. You talked about adversity with the Raiders. You're like, okay, the Raiders are 0-8. They've had adversity all year and all this stuff, struggles and everything. They can actually make the playoffs. They sure can. So that's the whole atmosphere here. The winner is advancing and keeps their season alive. The loser is done for the year. So it's a lot on the line, and this is not going to be by any means a cakewalk for either team. This is going to be a very good, very competitive game. I believe it's going to be a very high-scoring game, but we'll get to more of that coming up.
So Stevens won the last three meetings between these two teams, and of course the Raiders, they lead the all-time series 33-28 in the all-time series. Last year, the Raiders won 23-10, and in the last 10 years, Stevens holds a 7-3 edge over Central. With that said, let's take a look at today's keys to the game. They're being brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. You can find the key to building lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. Take a look at their great selection of RVs at two locations. Dakota Discount RV across from Cabela's on JB Road in Blackhawk and DakotaDiscountRV.com. So, Dean, before they get to the starting lineups, as we take a look at the keys to the game, what will it ultimately come down to?
Well, the big one for both of them, we're going to hit both of them right away. The big one, the absolute big one, is taking care of the ball, which includes mistakes. Mistakes, whether it's penalties, blocking assignments, coverage assignments, and most of all, the big one that's glaring with the neon light is turnovers. Last week, the Raiders, you saw the big score. You're thinking, a usual East River, West River game. But I'll tell you what, the fact that the Raiders were down right away had to do with 3 turnovers, a bad execution on a punt, and an unintentional onside kick by the O'Gorman Knights. So all of a sudden, you're in the hole. The other team is shopping in your own side of the field right away. It's been that way for the Cobblers last week, who also turned the ball over at times that were just not well for the game. So taking care of the football is the glowing neon sign for everything. With that, mistakes as well. Now let's talk to the actual game itself between the Cobblers and the Raiders. We'll talk about the Cobblers first. Like I said, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So the Cobblers need to be able to control the line of scrimmage. They need to have that offense that really started clicking the last few games that we've seen them and really be able to move the football. They got to be able to just to control that game, play their game, and keep rolling down the field with that little wing T style of offense that they have. For the Raiders, they also, I think, have a pretty decent offense out there. Senior offensive line. They've got underclassmen at the skills positions. And I think their mixture of running and passing is really going to be effective. They can move the ball as long as they take care of it. So with both defenses struggling, it's going to be up to the offenses today. Again, high-scoring affair, I think, is going to happen because you got two offenses that are going to look really different, but I think they can really move the ball.
And again, that's today's keys to the game being brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. Dakota Discount RV, you can find them across from Cabela's on JB Road in Blackhawk and DakotaDiscountRV.com. Like we said, the Raiders have won the series, the overall series advantage, 33-28, and the Raiders won last year 23-10. The Cobblers last defeated the Raiders in 2020. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups built by Connect Home Center and Ace Hardware. Whether it's residential or commercial, Connect Home Center has been your hometown lumber yard since 1928, and Ace Hardware. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. Looking at the designated visiting team, the Rapid City Central Cobblers, their starting lineup looks like this. At quarterback, number 1, Caden Matthew, a 6'2", 170-pound senior. The running back, number 3, Caleb Crawford, a 5'11", 175-pound senior. Also at running back, number 21, Waylon Binbo, a 5'11", 195-pound junior. And number 11, Henry Hill, who had a nice game last week. He is a 6', 160-pound junior. The wide receiver, who had an amazing catch last week, number 13, Gilbert White Jr., a 6', 170-pound senior. The tight end, number 10, Easton Graff. He stands 6'2", 205 pounds, and a junior. The line for the Cobblers. On the offensive line, the center, number 50, Ben Papke, a 6'5", 285-pound senior. The right guard, number 55, Christian Redleaf, a 6'2", 225-pound senior. The left guard, number 72, Lane Bixby, a 6', 250-pound junior. The right tackle is number 63, Jack Wilhelm. He stands 6'1", 220 pounds, and a junior. And the left tackle, number 61, Riley Case, a 6', 250-pound senior. Dean, I'll go through the starting lineups for the Raiders as you watch the coin flip out there. Or the
you
coin
tell me
toss.
that every week, but I always forget. I
I'm
get zoned out
reminding
about
you.
thinking about the game.
And again, the head coach for Rapid City Central is Brandon Colpitz. And now the starting lineup for the designated home team, the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. At quarterback will be number 3, Austin Floor, a 6'1", 170-pound sophomore. The wide receivers, number 0, Landon Offstead, a 6'1", 170-pound senior, as well as number 2, Jack Day, a 5'11", 150-pound sophomore. Also at wide receiver, number 4, Grayson Riddle. He stands 5'9", weighs 170 pounds, and a senior. Also at wide receiver, number 10, Marcus Kewell, a 6'1", 185-pound senior. The running back, number 23, Carter Johnson, a 5'10", 185-pound senior. Looking at the offensive line for the Raiders, they'll go with number 58, Curtis Salazar, a 6'1", 282-pound senior, as well as number 68, Owen Cootie, a 6'2", 265-pound senior. Number 69, Connor Hickman, a 5'10", 215-pound senior. Number 74, Aiden Kellogg, a 5'10", 222-pound senior. And number 77, Elias Gillen, a 6'6", 307-pound senior. Interim head coach for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders is Joe Moore.
The Cobblers won the toss. They deferred, so the Raiders will get it. Hey, I finally watched. I actually looked up just at the last second. Just busy looking at other things. I'll tell you what, the confidence level right now for the Cobblers is absolutely through the roof. Now, it's always a little extra coming into this game, thinking you're playing your brothers and friends and whatever it is like that. Some of them your mortal enemies. Either way. But coming in today, I think the confidence for the Raiders is up because they feel, look, this was a game a lot like the Sturgis game. They felt that they could win, and they didn't get that done. Now it's their chance to prove that they can get it done and make the playoffs, whereas the Cobblers, obviously they had that big game against Washington, came out, I think, about midway through the second quarter last week, all the way through the end of the game. Mm-hmm. They started really moving the ball much, much better. So there's lots of reasons for confidence for both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. Again, as we wrap up the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show, looking at the law on the field, let's meet the officials. The law on the field is brought to us by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection. Today's officials are your referee, Ellen Olson, the umpire, Joe Martin. The line judge is Ron Erickson, the head linesman is Jim Doyle, and Ryan Lang is your back judge. Cobblers in their visiting white uniforms with the red pants, while the Raiders, in their blue uniforms and blue pants with white numbers. Our temperature here at kickoff on what feels very much like football weather on this Thursday night as we wrap up the regular season. There's the kickoff. It's going to be taken at about the 12-yard line by the Raiders. That's Jack Day on the return. Going north to south. He gets to about the 22-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, he had a chance to catch the edge. Wisely, there was a Raider blocker there, but the blocker got beat. It looked like he was going to come back and hit the Cobbler in the back, but did not, and that Cobbler ended up making the play. So the Raiders will already start kind of behind the chain, so to speak, but like I said, spread offense for the Raiders here. Going to see him come out in that scenario. And again, they will run, they will throw from all of this.
53 degrees, but it feels like 50 degrees. There's a fumble that's going to be recovered by the Cobblers. A bad exchange. The ball comes loose, and it's going to be Cobbler football.
Boy, did we talk about that right away. That happened early on in the game last week against O'Gorman, and now all of a sudden the Raiders have given life to the Cobblers right away with, like you said, just a bad exchange. It was a jet sweep. They let Jack Day go in front of him, and he was just going to give it to Carter Johnson. And again, just a bad exchange. The ball's on the turf, rolled forward right into the arms of the Cobblers.
Cobblers have it, 1st and 10 on the Stevens 22-yard line, going from left to right. There they go. They'll have 2 receivers to the left. Caden Matthew under center. There's the give to Binbo, gets through the seam on the left side, still on his feet, gets it across the 20 down to about the 17-yard line for a gain of 5 yards on a carry by Binbo.
Again, they run this kind of it's not a true wing T formation, it's kind of a single wing version. Sometimes they'll have one wide out, sometimes no wide out, sometimes 2 like that one in that scenario. But the big thing for them is they want angle blocks, and mix up the blocking schemes.
Again, there's the handoff to the right side. Forced out of bounds as he gets inside the 10-yard line. That's going to be number 3, Caleb Crawford.
We saw catches last week, did some carrying. He got a few carries and kind of exciting carries. Crawford gets in there. Again, they have such a mixture, you can't really zero in on someone. You can't say, okay, defensive strategy, take out Waylon Benbow. That can't happen because it can go any direction, and it can go just like that.
1st and goal now for the Cobblers on the Raider 9. There's the give to the right side, heading for the end zone, and in for the score is going to be number 3, Caleb Crawford. He takes it in from 9 yards, and the Cobblers strike first.
He was almost untouched. In fact, I don't think he was touched. He went right in. There was a big gap. It went right outside the tackle there, which is a high target area for this wing offense type. You get guards and tackles pulling. You get down blocks and plenty of room for him. The linebacker's not able to react and cover that up. Wow. The kick is good. It looked like the game winner from 2 weeks ago when they played Washington, a low line driver, but either way it got through, and the Cobblers are up 7-0.
Tristan Duchnell puts it through the uprights with 11:02 remaining in the first quarter on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It's the Cobblers 7, the Raiders nothing. We'll step aside for 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City, also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation. Here's the kickoff by the Cobblers. It's going to be returned. Jack Day down the right sideline, gets to midfield, still on his feet. He's out the 40, the 30, the 25-20, the 15-10-5. Touchdown, Jack Day on the return for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders.
Wow, what a way to answer right away. The Raiders are down. You think first play from scrimmage, we fumble the football, and now the Cobblers, take that into the end zone. Your heart's down, and then all of a sudden Jack Day steps up. Last time he went to the left. Instead, he stayed to the right, tiptoed through a couple of tacklers, broke a couple of tackles, looked like they had him down there, but what an athlete is. He's just a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
And there's a reason why he's out there on the field and the lightning that he does. And again, right up the sideline, nobody could get a good enough hand on it to bring him down, and the kick is no good.
So the extra point attempt is no good on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. The Cobblers have a 1-point lead over the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, 7-6. But Dean, we're only a little over a minute into this ball game. Already 2 touchdowns. You thought it'd be a high-scoring game. You could be right.
I wasn't sure. I know Jack Day's done a pretty good job of returning kicks this year, but I didn't necessarily think it was going to be the special teams. But like you said, turnovers right away. The Cobblers capitalize, quickly with a quick little drive, but the Raiders answer right away. Again, this is what I think we could expect all night from this. The emotions, the excitement is going to go back and forth, and it's excitement waiting to happen.
And we've got a great crowd on hand. Of course, you always kind of monitor the crowd by how many vehicles park over by the railroad tracks, and it is packed over there.
Yeah, hopefully a train doesn't come through. It might wipe out a couple of cars. But you're right, it is packed all over there. The ramp isn't too full, but not bad. A lot of Cobblers fans. That side is almost packed. The Raiders side, not quite full, but still fairly decent.
10:49 to go here in this first quarter. 7-6. Rapid City Central leading Rapid City Stevens. Here comes the kickoff by William Waddell for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, going from right to left. This one and over and taken at the 10-yard line by Rapid City Central. Cobblers on the return, out past the 20-yard line. Didn't catch the number on the returner there.
I didn't think it was Gilbert White did a lot of returning last week, and I didn't quite see it. I think it was number 28 for the Cobblers. Returning kicks there. I don't have my little program up here I was going to grab.
So Rapid City Central now has the ball for the second time in this first quarter. They will be 1st and 10, going from left to right, 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. Caden Matthew on a design quarterback keeper takes it right through the seam there, takes it from the 24 to about the 27-yard line, maybe 28.
Could bust out my binoculars here and see what I can come up with. Of course, take the lid off, a lot easier to see.
Cobblers on their first drive, they went 3 plays, 22 yards, and scored a touchdown. Now they're looking at 2nd and about 6 from the 28-yard line. There's the give. This one is going to go to Benbow, who takes it for a first down to about the 36-yard line. So that's a Builder's First Source first down. Start your next project at BLDR.com.
Yeah, again, it's going to be a lot of trench warfare tonight. I think the Cobblers offense has the upper hand, at least in this sort of matchup. against the Raiders. The Raiders, unfortunately, defensively, had just really struggled. It showed last week against O'Gorman and the other games as well.
There's the give once again. That's going to be Binbo getting through the seam on the left side of the line across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 7 yards on the carry by Binbo.
I'll tell you what, this Cobbler offense is kind of like surgery out there. It's precision. It's quick hitting. I think Cade Matthew just does a great job in selling, whether it's a fake or the give or a keeper or hiding it. All those little intangibles that you got to do, he does well.
In motion, they're going to hand the ball off. That's going to go to number 2, I believe.
Is that Catches?
So that could be Troy Catches, the 6', 190-pound junior. And he's going to take it across the 45 to the 46-yard line for another Cobbler first down. That is their 3rd in this first quarter. 5th play of this drive coming up is the Cobblers moving the football. 1st and 10, going from left to right from their own 46-yard line. Man in motion once again.
Those Catches.
There's the give. It's going to go to Binbo. I'm sorry, that is going to be number 3, Caleb Crawford.
That's Crawford.
Crawford takes it into Raider territory all the way down to the Raider 39.
And that's just their counter play. Catches goes in motion. He motions behind, and so everybody's kind of watching him go that way. You got to make sure he doesn't get the ball. And instead, Matthew turns around, and they pull a guard, and Crawford heads the opposite direction in that little counter play, wide open.
Wing T formation. Matthew under center gives the ball to Binbo. He lunges forward, takes it inside the 35-yard line. In fact, they spot the ball right at the 35.
Again, this is what it looked like last week, about the second, for the most part, about the second quarter and mostly through the rest of the game. Obviously, it was kind of a shortened because of the running clock last week. But the Cobblers were able to move. They made a few mistakes here and there. The score didn't show it, but they were able to do a pretty good job at systematically moving the ball down the field.
There's the give to Catches through the line, through the seam there on the left side of the line. Takes it inside the 30-yard line, real close to a Cobbler first down.
It's like they have quite a few plays, but the bulk of them are just this probably half dozen or so that they run back and forth, but it does a good job. They're going to say first down on this, so they're going to move the chains here. But again, it's really all about angle blocks. You want the decided angle to get to where you need to go.
Catches goes in motion. There's the give to Catches, and Catches is going to be tackled just shy of the 20-yard line,
which puts a lot of pressure on the linebackers. The D-line has to plug up their holes where they need to be. The linebackers, unless you're playing like a 5 or 6 man front where you're playing all up tight, the linebackers have to be able to read and react and fill quickly.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2 from the 21-yard line of the Raiders. Catches goes in motion. They fake the handoff. This is going to be Caden Matthew on the quarterback keeper. He's heading for the end zone. He's at the 10-5 touchdown. Caden Matthew on the quarterback keeper.
Which is kind of amazing because the receiver was wide open in general if he throws the ball in the right way. There was a defender there in the area, but he wisely took a look downfield. Nobody there. He had a wide open running lane. He took it, goes all the way in, and the Cobblers extend their lead.
Here's the extra point attempt coming up by Tristan Duchnell. As the Cobblers lead, here's the extra point attempt, and it is through the uprights. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, 6:54 to go in the first quarter. Rapid City Central 14, Rapid City Stevens 6. We will step aside for just 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
And welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and recreation as Rapid City Central gets set to kick off. They did go 10 plays and 76 yards to get that last touchdown. This is going to be a short kick taken at the 30-yard line by the Raiders as the Cobblers don't want to allow another kick return by Jack Day.
That's the first thing I thought of. They're not going to kick that to Jack Day again, so they put it somewhere else, and that's number 5. I don't have a roster there of number 5, but he kind of gets a little bit of a return, but it's a better opportunity here for the Raiders, and here's our second chance to see their offense. We're 6:50 to go in the first quarter. They've had one offensive play, and they're down by 1 score.
Raiders starting on their own 38-yard line, going from right to left with 6:54 remaining. There's the give. This is going to be Carter Johnson. He's forced out of bounds as he takes it across the 40 to about the 43-yard line for a gain of 5. Nice, safe little run again there by Johnson. They'll kind of systematically use their own version of a running game here. They'll use the jet. They'll use a pulling guard type plays, all kind of through the middle, just try to set up some opportunities, and then they'll throw the ball. Now, again, Austin Floor, quarterback. This is his first year here, setting up a quarterback, and Floor out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff, now throws down the left sideline for a day, and it's going to be knocked down by the Cobblers, broken up by number 7 for Rapid City Central.
Yeah, that's Logan James. I believe he had a pick last week for the Cobblers, so he's been an important part of their secondary. He's a linebacker, so when you bring out that spread formation, your linebacker has to come out and cover somebody. But I think he's done a pretty good job in that scenario. But Austin Floor, again, just a sophomore, so he's had his kind of growing pains, so to speak, as a sophomore. But
there's the give. That one to Johnson once again, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield. Actually,
yeah, that wasn't Johnson.
Number 25. So Jackson.
They're going to say 26 Divine. I thought it was Jackson Greta, but
they say Aiden Divine then.
They did say Divine was on that. So a huge play knifing into the backfield. Got to give kudos where kudos are due. Waylon Benbow, he does it on offense. He did it as a linebacker, shot through the gap and tackled him for a big loss. So now the Raiders are going to have to punt the ball away on their second possession.
3 and out for the Raiders. They're yet to get a first down in this ball game as they trail by 8 to Rapid City Central. Here's the punt. This one, a line drive kick, takes a bounce. It is loose, and the ball is loose, and there's a pile now. The ball is still loose. I think the Raiders have it. It was touched by about 3 or 4 different players.
Holy smokes. The ball all over the place. Nobody could come up with it. Nobody wanted it. It's the football, and here we go. This is the type of game we're going to have tonight. This is now the second turnover. It's the Cobblers' turn to do it. Again, that low line drive. I thought there was going to be a penalty because there was a Cobbler running off at the last second on that. But all for naught. I think the Raiders are probably happy about it. It's like, we'll take the turnover. Thank you very much.
I think that was Gilbert White Jr., number 13, on the return. But now it's going to be a short field for Rapid City Stevens. There's the give. Not much running room there. It's 1st and 10 for the Raiders from their own 20. They're going to lose a yard on that carry.
I tell you, this is what I love to see. It's a crosstown rivalry and all the stuff you talk about, not liking your opponent or whatever. But at that one of the D tackles for Central helped up one of the offensive linemen for Stevens. So it's good to see that. Good competitive rivalry, yet good sportsmanship.
2nd and 11, Floor, 3-step drop. There's the pass. And the receiver, that's going to be number 90 out of the backfield. He gets upended.
And I'll tell you what, last week he made a play on the kick return and made actually a pretty good kick return. So I think probably was willing to come into the backfield and say, Coach, I can do this. I can run the ball a little bit. So he got it in there. Again, a little screen to the left side. Logan James was the guy that blew up his blocker and is able to come in and make another big play.
3rd and 14 from the 24-yard line. Now Floor again throws down the middle of the field, gets it to Day, and Day is in for the score from 24 yards.
I'll tell you what, the Cobblers brought the house that time, thinking they could get pressure on Floor. He stood in the pocket well, had time. It was man coverage, one-on-one. Day had plenty of room out there. It was a nice throw and catch. He catches it the one and dances into the end zone.
A 27-yard touchdown strike to Jack Day. They will not try to tie. They're going to go for the extra point. Here's Waddell with the extra point attempt with 4:27. There's the snap. The hold was not a good snap. It kind of bounced to the holder, but he gets it down, and it's through the upright, so the extra point is good. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, 4:27 remaining in the first. The Cobblers lead the Raiders 14-13. We are going to pause here for a moment. We will come back in 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. And we've got a fun rivalry game here. The Cobblers lead the Raiders 14-13. Here's Gilbert White Jr.
again
on the return out the 30, the 35, and then tackled just shy of the 40-yard line.
It looked like excitement. I know the crowd was getting excited. I was. I'm like, here comes another big return. But he's able to be escorted out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. Still good field position. We've had, like 6 possessions and 5 scores here, or something like that.
Each team with 2 touchdowns. Here comes Rapid City Central now. 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line. There's the give, but not much of a gain there. Maybe they're going to say close to the 40-yard line.
I think that was Benbow coming in. And
Benbow.
Coming in was it Aiden Devine? Maybe it was. Devine's a running back. I was trying to get the right number. One of the big keys to stopping a wing T offense like this is if your guy pulls, you have got to get down there and you got to pursuit madly. And I think that's what happened. I think it was actually number 86 was Aiden Jacobs was the one who got in there and made the tackle on that one.
2nd and 8 from the 40. There's the give to Catches, and Catches is going to be stopped in the backfield. They're going to give him forward progress to about the 39-yard line, but nonetheless, it's a loss of 1 on the carry.
Yeah, and it all started with Austin Pigman. He's the linebacker. He got into the backfield, held him up, and Grayson Mendel, I think, is probably going to get credit for the tackle, although there were 3 blue jerseys there.
3rd play of this drive coming up. It is 3rd and 9 from the 39-yard line. Catches goes in motion. Rolling out to the near side is going to be Matthew. There's the pass by Matthew. It's caught by the receiver in Raider territory as he's forced out of bounds. But the catch made by...
Was Crawford?
Benbow or Crawford? They both came from the Cobbler sideline
right
there.
Yeah, and there were actually quite a few white jerseys that were open. I think Matthew kind of took a look at... I think he thought about throwing it deeper. There was a defender behind the deepest player, so he chose to go short, made the connection, got the first down.
That's a Builder's First Source first down. Start your next project at BLDR.com. There's the carry by the Cobblers.
Catches that time.
Catches, takes it to the 45-yard line of the Raiders for a gain of about 3.
The strength of the formation was to the right. Catches just goes back in the other direction. And I'll tell you what, I do not want to be a linebacker and be able to defend in this scenario.
5th play of this drive. Caden Matthew on the keeper. They push him forward. He's going to be stopped at about the 42-yard line for a short gain of 3.
I think the Raiders recognized it. Both linebackers came up right away and filled the A gap, and it kind of expected that. But still, Matthew got some yardage out of it.
It's 3rd and short now for Rapid City Stevens. 3rd and about 3 from the Raider 42. A minute 40 remaining. The Cobblers with a 1-point lead here in the first. Matthew has catches go in motion. There's the handoff to Benbow, but we're going to get our first penalty flag. It's a wrench law flag on the field if you find yourself in a difficult situation, whether it's a DUI, criminal charges, or an injury case. You need the right lawyer on your side. With over 30 years of experience, Tim Wrench is a trial lawyer and will help you get the best possible outcome for your case. Call number 1 is to Wrench Law at 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
And I think, again, the Raiders, they're bringing pressure. The linebackers are coming in. And it was Austin Pigman. And I think one of the Cobblers jumped. They saw Pigman coming, and I think they reacted.
False start there against Rapid City Central.
And now they're going to change formation. I think Matthew and the Cobblers are going to have to call a timeout. Matthew didn't like the formation. He's like, well, what are you guys doing over there? We're not running twins. Here, get back over here. So they're coming this way. And so we're going to get a timeout here by the Cobblers. Again, huge. Every possession is huge in a game like this when you're going to jockey back and forth. Every turnover, every possession could swing the game in a moment's notice.
So on the State Farm scoreboard with 1:11 left in this first quarter, Rapid City Central leads 14-13 is your score. While we have a moment, let's check some of the playoff action. Of course, in the smaller schools, Class 11B and below, it's playoff action time. Right now, with 11 minutes left in the third, Mobridge Pollock leads McCook Central Montrose 19-12. Early in the third quarter, it's Winter 38, Hot Springs nothing. With 6 minutes left in the third, St. Thomas More 27, Groton area nothing. And we knew St. Thomas More, they could be a team you don't want to face in the playoffs.
Yeah, what was it, 3 weeks ago? We were talking about that these guys were just look much better. 6-2 record, but actually a very competitive team.
3rd and 8 now from the 47-yard line. There's the give. That's going to go to Crawford. Crawford is stopped at the 40-yard line. That is going to put him just short of a Cobbler first down.
That was that same play that they ended up scoring that touchdown on earlier that time. Everybody going to the left. Crawford goes to the right. And I thought he was going to break a tackle. He had a Raider hanging on to him, and they run hard. That's one of the keys. We talked about the angle blocks that are necessary, the overwhelming assignments that have to be ran, misdirection, but the running backs have to be able to run hard through the hole. And here goes Catches.
There's Troy Catches, and he is still on his feet.
It's going to be the push.
The push gives him enough for a first down.
How about that? They're excited. Cobbler fans over there, the whole crowd going nuts on that one. I can find out who number 5 is.
That's a Builder's First Source first down. Start your next project at BLDR.com.
The wrong one here. Peyton Taylor for the... Oh, excuse me. I was thinking about number 5 for the Raiders. He was the one hanging on to him. That was Caleb Brooks, who had a good first hit and then could not come up with what he needed to. That's going to end a very exciting first quarter.
So you can hear the crowd across from us on the in the stands there, because it's the Tuba race. And we will let you know how that... Actually, we'll keep it here for just a moment. The Tuba race right now, the Raiders with the lead.
It's all about technique, though. The Raider exchange was good, but they're carrying the Tuba high.
But the Cobblers are catching up, and the Cobblers now with the lead coming down the back stretch.
There's the big exchange here. Don't drop the Tuba.
Of course, what a tradition here. The famous Tuba race. Raiders had the lead early. Now the Cobblers in corner number 3. There's the exchange once again.
Here's a flashback. Here comes Waldo. If you know that.
They will exchange. Now it's down the home stretch. The Raiders have a fast runner, but the Cobblers with the lead coming down that home stretch. And the Cobblers win the famous Tuba race. We had to bring that to you. Of course, we didn't get a chance to get a break there, but we had to bring you the famous Tuba race.
Yeah, this is sponsored by the Music Shop.
If you've been to these rivalry games, you know all about the Tuba race.
There's the big handoff. This is Benbow banging and crunching and bouncing and heading through everyone and gets a big gain, about a 7-yard gain right up the middle.
And they have not put the time back up on the clock, so I think we're waiting because they ran a play and there's no time on the clock.
Yeah,
now they get the time.
Yeah, now. Interesting, now the ruling, you have to figure out how much time ran off the clock, and none of it did. Now they start it, so they actually got a free play, so to speak.
11:50, the clock is running. Here in the second quarter, Rapid City Central leading Rapid City Stevens 14-13. The winner keeps their season alive and makes the playoffs. It was second and short from the Raider 36-yard line as the Cobblers go from right to left now. Actually, second and short it was. Now we're looking at third and maybe a yard. They're not on the 36. They're, in fact, on the 27-yard line. They need to get to the 26 for a first down. 2 receivers to the right. Caden Matthew under center. Has catches in motion. Now there's the give to Crawford. Crawford through the gap. Still on his feet. Across the 20. Down to the 15-yard line. And a Builder's first source first down for the Cobblers.
And I'll tell you what, right now, the Cobblers offensive line kind of looks like the clothes in my closet. There are a whole lot of holes in there from the Moths, and they're just moving the ball down. Their blocking assignments are right on target, and they're just pushing this Raider defensive line all over the place.
9th play of this drive with a minute 15 gone by in the second quarter. There's the give to Crawford.
That was Benbow.
Was it Benbow?
Yeah.
So Benbow, the ball carrier.
So Crawford, or maybe catchers, goes in motion. They have a very intricate style of motion. Sometimes you kind of orbit around. Some of them where they come in and they look like and they cut off the motion and cut right back to where they're at. And it's just a big guessing game as to where they're going. So you, as a linebacker, have to have your eyes open.
2nd and 9 from the 14. The give to Crawford. And
wow,
Crawford
nice.
is going to be
Big
stood up at
hit.
the line of scrimmage.
And that's Caleb Brooks was on there. Also coming up from the bottom of the pile for the Raiders was number 46. That's Henry Hansen. So a couple of big plays by a couple of linebackers there.
Still 3rd and 9 rather from the Raider 14-yard line. The Cobblers lead here early in the second quarter, 14-13. This is the fourth possession of this ball game. Under pressure, there's the pass. It's going to be caught by
Benbow again.
Benbow, number 21. He takes it inside the 10.
And to tell you what, it's a screen pass, and he did a great job of making the first guy miss. Stepped out of that tackle. He's a tough guy to bring down. Stepped out of that one, but the Raiders were able to bring him down, and it'll bring up 4th and look like about 4 from the 9-yard line now. Decision time. Kick the field goal, the one that won the game for them against Washington from a similar spot, or go for it on 4th down. I think as good as your offense is going this game, I'm saying going for it. But they're kind of waiting around and thinking, they're going to call a timeout here with
they do call a timeout
running out.
So head coach Brandon Colpitts and his staff head out there to talk to the offense to see what they're going to do on 4th and 4 from the Raider 9-yard line. Again, we have 8:41 remaining here on the State Farm scoreboard in the second quarter. Insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 14-13, the Cobblers lead the Raiders. We'll return in 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, this is Nate Brown reminding you to join the Nate Brown Show live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's Rapid City's sports talk show and Rapid City's only call-in radio show. With big-name guests from across the country to the local sports coverage you just can't get anywhere else. Join the conversation every weekday for thought-provoking sports talk. This is your show. Don't miss the Nate Brown Show from 4 to 6 p.m. on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. And stream us all the time at foxsportsrapidcity.com.
And the Cobblers with the football going for it on fourth down as they come out of that timeout. On the carry, that is that Crawford?
I don't know.
Or was it Catches? I think it was Catches who takes it.
It was a tough scenario, but they line up in a T formation, so 3 running backs right all shoulder to shoulder in the backfield, and they basically just had this wall of blockers, and he just kind of waited for the wall, and it was a push, and he pushed it all the way inside the 5 for the first down, so first and goal at the 4.
First and goal. This is Crawford heading in for the end zone, and he is in from 5 yards out for the touchdown.
Like I said, you know, your offense is clicking right now. Your offensive line is dominating this game. Get going and use all 4 downs, and they made it happen.
But, Dean, we have a penalty marker at the 1.
Oh, no.
This one is coming back.
I didn't see his.
Looks like a hold on Rapid City Central, just their second penalty of this ball game. As we saw a wrench law flag on the field, that backs them up 10 yards.
Yeah, there wasn't. We haven't seen too many penalties so far, which is kind of good.
None for the Raiders and only 2 for the Cobblers.
I don't knock on wood or anything like that.
8 minutes remaining, a man in motion. This is Matthew rolling out to his right. He throws for the end zone, and he's caught by the receiver. Touchdown,
Gilbert?
Rapid City Central.
Gilbert White Jr., we talked about him. He just ran a deep out over there.
A nice catch there by Gilbert White Jr. to give the Cobblers the lead 20-13, awaiting the extra point.
Just a designed rollout. Everybody's in tight because of this, because you got to be able to stop the run in this wing formation. So everybody's in there. Gilbert White Jr. just sneaks right out there, does an out route. The ball's thrown right in front of him. He makes a nice catch. 2 defenders on his tail, but either way, it's an easy score for him.
So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, 7:55 to go in quarter number 2. Rapid City Central 21, Rapid City Stevens 13. We're back with more action in 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
And welcome back to Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium on this Thursday night as we welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. With Dean Gert to my right, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Right now in the Rapid City rivalry game, we have a great one. Rapid City Central leading Rapid City Stevens 21-13. Here's the return by the Raiders at the 20-yard line, out to the 25, the 30, and then tackled just shy of the 35-yard line.
That's Brady Waddell on the return. That again, they don't kick it to Jack Day. They choose to go the other direction, and Waddell gets a limited return, and the Raiders will set up shop. Again, down by a score, but They've been able to move the football. Fortuitous on the punt the last time. They got the ball back again, and they're moving.
So here's Rapid City Stevens, 1st and 10 from their own 34, going from left to right. There's the give to Johnson. He's going to be wrapped up as he gets to the line of scrimmage. It looks like they say Divine.
Yeah, Divine, number 25, up in the backfield for him. He's not who I have for number 25.
That's not who I have either.
But, hey, who to argue with the PA guy?
Divine again is going to be upended as he gets just shy of the 35-yard line for a short gain. We're looking at 3rd and long now for the Raiders.
And it was Divine, if we remember, Divine, he was the opening day running back starter. Carter Johnson came in the second game and has kind of been the man in general. They got a platoon. They got about 2 or 3 different guys that kind of come in and do different things for them. But the Raiders are going to take a timeout here. They got to kind of get things together, kind of running up the middle. It looks like 3rd and long. They're going to set up a big pass play here. Again, I don't want to say the Raiders have a big advantage, but I think they have a slight advantage as far as the secondary goes for the Cobblers. An opportunity. You get a good route, I think you got a chance to make some plays.
So timeout for the Raiders. They trail by a score to the Cobblers, 21-13. Just another quick score, Brandon Valley. They defeated Sioux Falls Jefferson 28-3. That's a final. With 5 minutes left in the third, Harrisburg 17, Sioux Falls Lincoln 13.
Again, the Cobblers care about that because if they win tonight, they will play the winner of that game. So that's of interest to them.
Third play of this drive coming up for Rapid City Stevens. They're looking at 3rd and 10. Here's Floor out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Looks to his left. Now back to the middle of the field. Now he's going to air it deep. It is going to be caught by Jack Day down the left sideline.
Again, Day, he had just enough speed to get by his defender, just about a step. And I'll tell you what made that much better is the fact that Floor put it out in front of him and allowed him to run underneath it. If he had put anything or taken anything off of that, the defender would have been there, knocked it away, and it would have been back and 4th down. But a nice big play by Floor today.
And that is the first down of the Raiders in this contest. There's the give. This one is going to go to Johnson, and Johnson takes it inside the 25 down to the 21-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 8 on the carry.
It was nice. Floor had a little bit of time to kind of set up and make that play happen. Of course, the Cobblers expecting a play, drop some people into coverage, but there was time for Floor to set his feet and let the ball fly.
5th play of this drive coming up for the Raiders, 2nd and short. There's the give to Johnson once again, and he is going to be tackled for a loss back at the 22-yard line. That's a loss of 1 to bring up 3rd and short.
That's a big hit. It's kind of befuddles me a little bit. All seniors. I think they got a lot of size, a lot of experience up front, yet the Raiders just are not able to handle the D-line of the Cobblers and do a better job in that running game.
Floor out of the gun, looks to his left, has a receiver on an out route. That is Jack Day, who's forced out of bounds, but not before he gets a Builder's First Source first down. Start your next project at BLDR.com.
Yeah, he just ran a nice little out route. That's an easy one. Those little short plays, it's so hard. If you run a good route and make that turn perfectly and the quarterback delivers the ball, as soon as you sink your hips and turn your head and he delivers that ball out in front of you, there's no defender that can defend it.
Raiders in the red zone, 1st and 10 from the Cobbler 13. We get a penalty marker.
There's the first one for the Cobblers. That's the 3rd one for the Cobblers.
3rd one for the Cobblers.
A little hard count, got him off guard, so 5 yards closer.
Offsides. So we have 3 penalties for 20 yards for the Cobblers, as that's a wrench law flag on the field. So now 1st and 5 from inside the 10-yard line. Floor out of the gun, takes the snap, gets out of the pocket. He's at the 5, lunges forward, gets down to about the 3-yard line, and that is very close to a first down.
And I'll tell you what, that's kind of one of the things we don't talk about that much about Austin Floor. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of experience out here. Again, it's just his first year, and he's kind of split starting times. I think he's now kind of earned that starting job. But to see him out there, he could actually do a good job of using his legs as an extra weapon.
Floor with the give to Devine, and he is in for the touchdown from 3 yards out.
And the Raiders plunge it right back in. Again, the Cobblers thinking, okay, now they've kind of thrown the ball a little bit. We got to be ready for Floor to make some plays, and Devine steps up. The line opens a hole, and they close the gap again.
A 3-yard touchdown run.
Interesting, they're huddling up here. Are they going to go for a fake field goal? Just guessing. I'm not a prognosticator. In fact, they are going for 2. Pistol formation, Floor
gives the ball to Johnson.
Is he going to get it? He did.
And Johnson's in for the 2-point conversion, and just like that, this game is tied.
Wow, an amazing job. Again, they huddled up right away, and you're thinking, okay, was something else going to happen? Sure enough, and I don't know if the Cobblers were ready for it, but Johnson, he got hit outside of the end zone and still managed to work his way inside.
We have quite the contest here in the Rapid City rivalry.
I don't know what the over-under with this, like, what, 60 or 70? I don't know.
So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, 5:38 left here in this first quarter, and we are tied at 21 apiece. Dean, I have to keep going back to it. You said you thought it'd be high scoring, and already 42 points scored in this first half.
Well, just looking at it, both defenses struggled in general the last few weeks. I think the Cobblers defense did a good job against Washington, but the Raiders just, with all the turnovers and short field position and all that stuff against O'Gorman last week, they just could not stop O'Gorman. And the fact that you could see the Raiders able to move the football at times, as long as they didn't turn the ball over, that would have been a nice game against O'Gorman. And then we saw the Cobblers last week move the ball well. So I'm thinking 2 teams, struggling defenses, moving the ball.
There's the kick by Waddell. I think he had the wind behind him there as this one sails into the end zone for the touchback. And the Cobblers will have the football for the 5th time in this first half. They've scored on 3 of their previous 4 possessions. I don't think we've seen have we seen a punt in this ball game?
Yeah, we saw the one punt. The Raiders punted it, and
that's right.
And the Cobblers fumbled it, and the Raiders recovered it. So basically they kept the possession alive, if you will.
So here comes Rapid City Central again.
And did the Cobblers punt it once, too? I think they went for it on 4th down there. I thought maybe they had it early on.
There's the give to Benbow, trying to break it to the outside, but he's wrapped up and tackled for a loss back at the 17-yard line. That's a loss of 3.
Yeah, that's Aiden Jacobs again. He's the defensive end over there. Did a good job getting into the backfield. That's the thing with this offense. It's got to be quick hitting. There's no time to spend in the backfield. It has to be, you get it, you charge where your target is, whether it's off tackle, in the A gap, around the outside, wherever it is, you got to get there quickly. And he took a little bit of time, and Jacobs got him.
In motion once again. There's the give. Didn't quite see who the handoff was to.
That's Benbow, they say.
And Benbow takes it across the 20 for another Cobbler. Actually, 3rd and 7 because we had some losses there.
Yeah, that last play they lost some yards, and now 3rd and 7 coming up for the Cobblers, and it's a chance for the Raider defense to kind of step up here and make a big play. Likely pass scenario coming up.
3rd and 7 from the 23. Matthew on the quarterback keeper, but I think that was kind of a broken play, I thought.
God, that's what I was kind of thinking. It almost looked like they're going to set up for maybe an option a little bit, and he was going to just do either that or he was just going to keep the ball and let some blockers and do like a quarterback keeper to the outside, but somehow either they weren't going where he wanted them to, so he decided to cut up the middle, found some running room, but found himself just a couple of yards short. And right now, with this game the way it's going, this isn't a scenario to go for it on fourth down. The risk, the fact that the Raiders kind of got some momentum right now, you got to get rid of the ball.
On 4th and 1, there's the snap. Here's the punt. It's a line drive punt. Bounces at midfield. Continues to roll. Now the Cobblers will down it on the Raider 45-yard line.
Of course, they have to punt into the wind, so he gets that kind of low line drive punt to try to not allow the wind to catch it up high. And so that's why it's shorter, but there's no return, so you'll take it on that.
So now the Raiders will have the football for the 5th time. They've scored on 3 of their previous 4 possessions.
But then you consider that kick return a possession?
Well,
it is, so to speak.
I guess. Here's Austin Floor out of the shotgun spread offense.
Running the ball.
It's going to be a high snap over the head of Floor, and he dives on the football inside the 30-yard line. That is going to put the Raiders back deep inside their own 30, facing 2nd and probably about 20, actually closer to 30.
Right. And that's why I spent so much time talking about mistakes and turnovers and what have you as part of our keys to the game, because now all of a sudden they're behind the chains. They've got an offense. They can move it. It's not detrimental, but now you're facing a different scenario.
2nd and 27. There's the give to Johnson. Carter Johnson takes it just shy of the 30-yard line. That's going to be a gain of only 2 yards.
I don't know if they're trying to catch him off guard or something, thinking, they think we're going to throw on this play, so let's do a running back draw on this one. Now here's obviously a passing scenario.
Only a gain of a yard. So 3rd and 26 from the 29-yard line of the Raiders. They'll go trips right, one receiver
left. Know where Jack Day's at.
Mm-hmm.
See on the near side line.
Austin Floor out of the shotgun, throws to the middle of the field, and it's going to be intercepted by the Cobblers. The Cobblers with the pick, and they get it down all the way inside the Raider 10-yard line.
Is that number 14?
I thought it was number 10, Easton Graff.
I believe so. It was Easton Graff. What he did, he just stepped right into the passing lane. The ball was going to go to Landon Ofsted, who just ran an in route, and I think Floor just kind of read it too much, didn't look off the linebacker, and tried to fire the ball in there, and Graff just stepped right in the middle of the passing lane and took the ball the other way. Again, another turnover, another mistake. Can the Cobblers capitalize?
There's the give to Crawford, gets through the seam on the right side, takes it all the way down to the 5-yard line on 1st and goal.
It's just that power monster formation there. It's actually, what my old coach called the T formation. You got 3 running backs lined up in the backfield, shoulder to shoulder, and you just let the first 2 guys, depending on which way you're going, the first 2 guys take it and just create that wall of blockers in front of them.
Cobblers come up to the line of scrimmage. Kind of a tight formation. Caden Matthew under center. 2nd and goal from the 5. On the quarterback keeper, Caden Matthew goes forward. He is in for the score.
Yeah, and that's, again, just this wall push. We've seen that quite a few times over the course of the season doing Cobbler games. And another possession, another score.
2 plays and 10 yards. And Rapid City Central gets a 5-yard touchdown run by Caden Matthew. Here's the extra point attempt by Tristan Duchnell. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it splits the uprights. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, the Cobblers take the lead in this high-scoring affair. It's the Cobblers 28, the Raiders 21, with 1:26 left before halftime. We will pause for 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and online also on GoRaidersLive.com.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable. even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Looking for
And welcome back to Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium on Fox Sports Rapid City with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham as we welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation.
It's kind of interesting. The Raiders, before the Cobblers broke out, they have this little huddle that they do for their kickoff, and then they break out of the huddle, and then they line up and kick it away. The Raiders set up in their normal kick return scenario, and then Day and Divide, who were the two returners, switch sides really quick, thinking, oh, they're going to kick it to the opposite of Day, so thinking maybe they're going to kick it over here, but instead the Cobblers bounce it around on the ground, and I kind of thought that Cooper Myers was going to pick it up and have a chance to run at it. He kind of looked at it for a second, then the ball rolled out of bounds. So they were thinking about your options here, and Ron Erickson over there on that far side is talking about out of bounds where it's at or on the 35-yard line. The 35-yard line would be better for the Raiders, so I don't think there's – but you got to ask their options.
The Raiders will have the football 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line, going from left to right.
It's 25 yards from the kick, so if they were doing like a safety and they had to kick there, it would be in a different spot.
Austin Flohr goes out of the shotgun. Spread offense. Running back lined up to his right. Jack Day goes in motion. There's the jet sweep to Day. He avoids one tackle, still at the 35-40. Stays on his feet, spins to his right, and he is tackled close to midfield. But what a game this has been for Jack Day.
Oh, yeah, he's kind of been a one-man wrecking crew in general for the Raiders so far. I know Logan James, number 7 for the Cobblers, had him dead to rights in the backfield, but he did a great job of sidestepping James.
So 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Flohr again has a receiver. He makes the catch in Cobbler territory all the way down to the 40-yard line on the extra effort.
Yeah, that was number 19, Brady Waddell, on that one. And you could see a host of Cobblers trying to tackle him and also trying to rip the ball out. And then somebody came in and drove him to the ground, and we're going to get a big timeout here by the Raiders as they want to keep this drive alive and get a chance here to tie this game before half.
So 1:03 to go here in this second quarter on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It is 28-21, Rapid City Central leading Rapid City Stevens, but the Raiders are driving.
I'll tell you what, they've just done a good job. It was a lot like last week. They did a good job of driving the ball and moving it downfield, but then all of a sudden it's turnover, and it's turnover. So they had 2 turnovers. Have the Raiders, yet they're still just 1 score away from this, so they're able to battle back.
In our pregame show, we talked about the Raiders have won the last 3 contests between these two teams, including last year's win over the Cobblers by a score of 23-10 was the final in last year's game.
I see Hanslick has come in. He's one of the receivers over there. Ofsted's on the far side. Isolated 101. Near side here is Jack Day. He's going to go that way.
Trips left, 1 receiver to the right. The ball is tipped. It's going to be caught by the receiver for the Raiders. That's Carter Johnson. He's at the 35 and tackled just shy of the Cobbler 30-yard line.
And they're going to hustle back to the line here.
Down to 49 seconds. The clock is running. We're looking at 2nd and 2. They get set. Austin Flohr out of the gun once again, drops back, looks to his right, throws towards the sideline. The receiver makes the catch.
And that's Hanslick. He makes it right in front of the Cobbler bench here, gets out of bounds, stops the clock. It's just a simple play. The 2 slot receivers do outs. The 2 outside receivers do go routes.
Floor out of the gun once again. Looks to his right, decides to keep it. He's at the 30, the 25, wants to get out of bounds. Instead, he's tackled at the 25.
And the Raiders will use their final timeout with 18 seconds left. Obviously, downs in general don't matter because it's the clock that's your enemy at the moment. And I'll tell you what, obviously the Raiders want to score here, but looking at the leg of Waddell, he's got the wind at his back, and that last kickoff that he did sailed clearly into the end zone. He's got plenty of leg here, so if they decide to go for it too far away, again, they've got a couple, 3 plays. It depends on what happens here. What the end result of the plays, if they can get stop the clock, they can get, 3 plays out of this?
Possibly. Mm-hmm. Just a reminder, the Consolidated Construction halftime show coming up next in about 18 seconds after we see what the Raiders do here. Of game time. But it's the Consolidated Construction halftime show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Lincoln has taken the lead over Harrisburg. Start of the fourth, 20-17. What a great game that is.
Absolutely.
We've got a great game here, though. Don't turn away.
Trips right, one receiver to the left. That's Day in single coverage. Austin Floor out of the shotgun.
Day's going to go deep.
There's the snap, looking to the corner of the end zone. There's Jack Day. And a penalty flag, a couple of them in the end zone as Jack Day gets up clapping.
Yeah, you had to know it. Cover 2 situation by the Cobblers. The safety rolls over. Day one-on-one, just as a corner out. That's where you want him because you want the safety to run as far as he can over there to try to get over there. And Day kind of slowed down a hair bit, and both defenders kind of run into him, and he hits the ground. I think by rule the ball is placed, let's see, it's 15 yards from the previous spot, so I thought maybe it was closer than that. Seems like they weren't that far away, but still only 6 seconds off the clock for that. Another couple, 3 shots.
And that's a Wrench-Law flag on the field. So now we're looking at 1st and 10 from the Cobbler 13. Floor fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. He's at the 15, throws for the end zone. And it is caught for the touchdown. It is Jack Day once again from 13 yards out. His 3rd touchdown of the night.
It's daytime. It's Jack Day time is what it is right now. It's Jack Day all over it. He just ran a nice little, he was the slot guy that time. He didn't even run an out. He kind of run a little bit of a curl there. And right on the goal line, caught it, stepped into the end zone. What a combination that Floor and Day have had. Both of them sophomores. Listen, we can see a nice little future rolling
for years to come. Here's the extra point attempt. It is no good.
No.
The second, missed extra point by the Raiders. So with 8 seconds to go in this first half on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, the Cobblers lead the Raiders 28-27. You couldn't get more exciting than this.
Not at all. Of course, everybody likes offense. I'm a big defensive guy myself, but everybody loves offense. The ball's in the air, runners running free, big blocks, all that. If you are a fan of offense, you are loving this game. Lots of excitement. Great way to spend your frigid Thursday night.
Like we said, 53 degrees, but it felt like 50 degrees. But the way people are bundled up, it's obviously got to feel a lot colder with that wind out there.
It's still not bad. Come on, it's October. It's toward the end of October.
Yes, you got to expect this.
You got plenty of tailgaters out there. Like you said, they've got a lot of blankets around them. But
indeed, we're talking about how cold it is, and we're inside the press box here.
We're just whining here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Here's Waddell with the kickoff from the 40-yard line, going from left to right. Here's the kick by Waddell. This one again, a line drive kick taken inside the 10-yard line by Rapid City Central. Nice return out to the 30, the 35, 40. Still on his feet, and finally,
that's the end of the half.
Out of bounds, and that is the end of the half.
Gilbert White Jr. trying to make some excitement to finish out the half, but there was plenty of it that first half.
A lot of excitement here in this first half on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. At the end of the first half, Rapid City Central leads Rapid City Stevens 28-27 is your score. We will step aside for 2 minutes. It's going to be an extended halftime show. Of course, both marching bands will perform. So, again, we will step aside for 2 minutes. And the Consolidated Construction halftime show coming up next when we come back on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Winter is just around the corner, and Danny Menold Toyota has the right cars and trucks to handle it right here in Rapid City. Like a new 2024 Tundra, we've got 30 here and inbound, with financing as low as 1.99% APR or a $2,000 factory rebate. Take advantage of low lease payments on new 4x4 trucks and SUVs and new all-wheel drive cars, including Camry. Find your new Toyota right here at Danny Menold Toyota or DannyMenoldToyota.com.
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping Services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
To Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium on this Thursday night with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Welcome to the Consolidated Construction halftime show on Fox Sports Rapid City. It's built by Consolidated Construction from start to finish. Consolidated pledges a quality experience every step of the way. When it comes to your next big vision and project, work with someone that was born in the Midwest and has ingrained their business into this community. That's Consolidated Construction at onecalltobuild.com. And wow, what a game we have here in this first half in the Rapid City rivalry as the Rapid City Central Cobblers lead the Rapid City Stevens Raiders 28-27. You know, Dean, the Cobblers struck first. The Raiders answered quickly, and that's pretty much been the trend here this first half.
Yeah, right. Whoever's got the ball is going to score. Basically, that might be the way it comes down to even at the end of the game. The last the last team to have the ball at the end of the game may be the victor in this one. But, you know, like I said, living up to a lot of what we expected. We knew turnovers would be crucial. That has played a big key factor in what's going on. Mistakes in general haven't been big aside from the turnovers, but it's been high flying. It's been an amazing surgical ground game by the Cobblers, who are just dominating. Their offensive line is just, for the most part, dominating the defensive line of the Raiders. And then we've seen, you know, the Raiders passing game in general, but specifically Austin Floor to Jack Day has just been a duo that has been a Cobbler killer so far. So you between them doing that, this might be a much different ball game. But Jack Day shows up. Austin Floor says, thank you very much. I got someone to throw to. He's making big plays. So each side of the ball has plenty to cheer about in what's going on and what we can expect just a really exciting second half.
Absolutely, and we'll get to our coaching adjustments for each of these teams in just a moment. Like we said, 28-27, Rapid City Central by 1 here at the break. Let's look at today's box score. It's being brought to you by The Box. The Box Elder Event Center is the most innovative facility in the Midwest, featuring hardwood courts and a great space to host multiple games. The Box is really the premier youth sports venue in the area, but sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can cater and host any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. Looking at the scoring in this first half, like we said, just at 11:02, so not even a minute into the ball game, it was Caleb Crawford on a 9-yard touchdown run for the Cobblers on a short field after a fumble by the Raiders, and that made it 7-0, the Cobblers with the lead. Then on the ensuing kickoff, Jack Day, I didn't quite get the yardage. I mean, I would assume it was probably between 80 and 90 yards. But Jack Day on the ensuing kickoff takes it all the way down the right sideline. The extra point was no good, but the Cobblers led 7-6 at that point. Then Rapid City Central, they answer with 6:54 to play on a 21-yard quarterback keeper by Caden Matthew. 21 yards for the score. It was 14-6, the Cobblers on top. With 4:27 to go in the first, Jack Day again. They go to him from 24 yards. The extra point was good. At the end of one, it was 14-13. The Cobblers led the Raiders by 1 point. In the second quarter, of course, we're far from done with scoring. 7:55 to go. Rapid City Central to Gilbert White Jr., a 14-yard touchdown strike, and it was 21-13. The Cobblers on top. With 5:38 to play, Aiden Devine takes it in from 3 yards out for the Raiders. And the 2-point conversion by Carter Johnson was good. We were tied at 21. Then with 1:26 to go in the second quarter, Rapid City Central behind Caden Matthew, his second touchdown of the day. This one from 5 yards out on the quarterback keeper. 28-21, Rapid City Central led Rapid City Stevens at that point. Then just 8 seconds remaining in the ball game. It was Jack Day on the receiving end of a 13-yard touchdown reception. The extra point was no good. 28-27 is where we stand here at halftime. Looking at some other stats real quickly in the first half, Rapid City Stevens has 7 first downs and Rapid City Central 9 first downs. Also, penalty-wise, Rapid City Stevens without a penalty in the first half, and for Rapid City Central, they have 3 penalties for 20 yards. So that's a look at our box score being brought to you by The Box. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. Now as the Cobbler Marching Band continues to perform here at halftime, the Raiders on deck. They'll be performing next. Let's look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by Lee Cruz, your local New York Life agent in Rapid City. Lee is ready to help you and your family put a game plan together to secure your financial future. Don't wait. Take action and Google Lee Cruz, New York Life. So, Dean, what do you expect to see from these two teams in the second half?
Well, let's talk about the visiting Cobblers first. In general, I think for their offense, I think the only, quote, adjustment they can't do is what they can't do. They can't go to a passing, thinking that, you know what, we're going to catch them off guard and we're going to go to this passing game. I think the Raiders, I'll give some kudos for their secondary. The Raiders' secondary has done a moderately decent job of covering the Cobbler wide receivers when they choose to pass the ball. They are doing so well at running the ball, they have to do it. Now, they're going to have to throw it a couple of times to keep the Raiders honest, but they're going to have to be able to just continue to just march the ball down the field, get what they need to do. That's what they have to do offensively. Defensively, the Cobblers, they're going to have to, quote, double Jack Day. And what I mean by that is instead of rushing so many, putting pressure on Austin Floor and forcing him into a mistake, which would be a logical thing to do. You got a young quarterback. Put some pressure on him. Make him throw an errant throw. He already threw one interception. Why not do it again? But I think in general, if you I think the defensive backs for Central can keep up with him, but they got to be able to take care of Jack Day. So what you do is you rush 4 guys, keep a gap integrity, keep their lane integrity. Don't let Austin Floor get out and run. You don't have to necessarily pressure him. Just keep him in the pocket, make him throw from the pocket, and then always know where Jack Day is. And you have an over-under coverage on him. You don't have to do man on that. You can do it with zone, but you have to be aware. He comes into your zone, you got to know underneath. If you're the deep guy and he's coming over to your side, you got to know where he's at. So you got to pay attention to those 2 different scenarios. So that's what I think they need to do. As far as the Raiders go, offensively, I think they need to run the ball a little bit more. I think that the Cobblers are gonna kind of zero in on Jack Day a little bit more and kind of change their coverages a little bit on that. So I think the Raiders need to take advantage, start using those big fellas up front, and start pushing the Cobbler defense around a little bit and use the power and use some running game, get the ball either between the tackles on the outside. I know they're going to use that jet sweep, probably not nearly as much as maybe they should, but I think if they kind of get out there, got the right blockers out there, I think they could use it more often during the game. But on defense for the Raiders, I think they need to bring more guys up front. I think the one-on-one, I think they can keep up with the receivers when they go out on routes, but I think they need to be able to have more gap presence, more pressure up the middle, and just getting into the backfield. I think if they can get that push, they'll keep them from running outside nearly as much because they can get there. But they have to keep their shoulders. This is how you defend a wing tee. You got to keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage because they want angle blocks on you. You got to keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. Keep into your gap integrities and keep them there. You don't have to be the guy that makes the play, but you got to be able to let your linebackers be free and run the play. So in order to do that, you got to be able to stop it up. You can't allow the guy to run through a gap. You got to make him stop, change directions, do something like that, and that will allow enough time for either the backside pursuit or the linebackers to be able to read and get downhill and fill their gaps and make the tackle. That's I think, the biggest adjustment. Bring more guys up front. And I hesitate. I think a 6-man front, I don't know if they practice that or not, but I think a 6-man front would be a very good front against that. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know if they have. 5 would do as well. I honestly think they're going to stay at 4 and try to continue with what they have, but I think that would be a great adjustment for them.
And again, that's coaching adjustments for each of these teams. It's brought to you by Lee Cruz, your local New York Life agent in Rapid City. And Dean, of course, Matt Kearney would be on top of everything. Of
course he is.
So we did get confirmation on that. Jack Day returned for a kickoff return, 81 yards.
81
is
yards.
How far he went. So
let's go back and do the measuring. I wish we had a replay booth here too. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate that. So here at halftime on the Consolidated Construction Halftime Show, Rapid City Central leads Rapid City Stevens by 1, 28-27 on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. Well, we are going to take another 2-minute break. When we come back, we've got a lot of scores to go through. Of course, a lot of teams finishing up the regular season tonight, plus Class 11B and your 9-man classes into the postseason. We'll run down all that action when we come back in 2 minutes on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our two locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, exit 48, Somerset.
Out here, you learn.
We want to welcome you back to Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium here in Rapid City on this Thursday night. We wrap up the regular season. So again, we want to welcome you back to the Consolidated Construction Halftime Show built by Consolidated Construction. Jerome Wickersham and Dean Gurr with you on this Thursday night. It's the Rapid City rivalry, and what a first half it has been, with Rapid City Central leading by 1 over Rapid City Stevens. 28-27 is your score. Like we mentioned, there's lots of scoring to go through tonight. We'll start in Class 11 AAA tonight. Brandon Valley defeats Sioux Falls Jefferson 28-3. That is your final. So Brandon Valley is your number 1 seed, I believe, Dean, in Class 11.
They were going to be no matter what,
okay,
to be honest. But I'm just kind of shocked at how much they took care of. They have a fantastic defense, how much they took care of Jefferson tonight.
Sioux Falls Lincoln defeats Harrisburg 27-17.
It's funny, Harrisburg looked like the top dog all over the place, and now they've lost 2 in a row, and they're going to be the number 3 seed.
T-Area with a win over Sioux Falls Washington 15-14, but like you mentioned, Dean, did not matter for the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors, they're going to be, depending on the outcome of this game, they're either going to be the 7 or 8 seed coming in, and the T-Area game meant everything to T-Area but nothing to Washington.
And with 6 minutes left in the second, it's O'Gorman 21, Sioux Falls Roosevelt nothing is your score there.
And that's the 5-6 seed there.
Moving on to Class 11 AA. As they start the second half, Spearfish and Sturgis Brown Scoopers tied at 3 up there in Spearfish.
Well, a game that means everything to both of those schools. Spearfish look like amazing, and now they lost to Pierre last week, and if they lose this game, boy, that's going to drop. Now they're going to have to travel and everything else, and just really going to disrupt their playoff hopes and plans.
And Yankton dominated Mitchell. That's actually a halftime score. They are on top of Mitchell 59-6. Also at halftime, it's Pierre 34, Douglas nothing. With 1 minute left in the second, Watertown dominating Aberdeen Central 35-7. And at halftime, Brookings over Huron 20-7. In Class 11A, Del Rapids over Lennox 19-6. In a game between the number 3 and number 2 teams in Class 11A.
Yeah, that's huge because that winner will be the 2nd seed in that game in general.
Also at halftime, Rapid City Christian all over Belfouche 25-8. We talked about the Comets. A win tonight would give them a 6-3 record on the season, or for the regular season. Chance, though, they'll go in likely the number 8 seed?
8 could be 7. If the Canton game, if Canton wins, they'll be 8. If Canton loses, they could finish in the 7 spot. But, they would rather be in the 7 spot and play either Del Rapids or Lennox and not want to play Sioux Falls Christian, although you'll be getting to that score here in a second.
Right now, Madison 28-0 over Millbank in the third. At halftime, Canton 23, Tri-Valley 14. And then with 4 minutes left in the third, West Central running away with from Vermilion 41-0. Custer over Lakota Tech 63-16. And with 8 minutes left in the third, Dakota Valley 14, Sioux Falls Christian 3.
Now, Sioux Falls Christian will be the number 1 seed no matter what happens in this game, but this makes it very interesting. I don't know if that's it plays into the factor or the reason why it's 14-3 here, but it means everything to Dakota Valley is they're jockeying for a better playoff spot. But yeah, it's quite interesting.
We have some finals now in Class 11B. Mobridge Pollock moves on. They went on the road tonight, and they defeat McCook Central Montrose 36-18. Also, the top seed winner takes out the defending Class 11B champs, Hot Springs. 38-14 is the final there. Another final, the St. Thomas More Cavaliers, a team we thought could be very dangerous in the postseason. They dominate and get the win over Groton area, 40-13. They will move on to the second round of the playoffs next Thursday night.
Well, how about this? We anticipated that they would win and that they would play Mount Vernon Plankington. But that game, 8-0 in the fourth quarter, Mount Vernon Plankington barely hanging on to that one. So if Wagner pulls off the huge upset, St. Thomas More could host that game next weekend.
We'll see what happens there. Elk Point Jefferson in the third, leading Flandreau 36-6. Also at halftime, Clark Willow Lake over Bridgewater Emery Ethan 20-13. Aberdeen Roncalli and Woonsocket Wessington Springs Sanborn Central tied at 7. Number 2 Sioux Valley over Dual 28-7 in the third. And like we said, Mount Vernon Plankington over Wagner 8-0 with 10 minutes left in the fourth. Real quickly in Class 9AA, some scores to look at. Parkston at halftime, all over Stanley County, 52-6. Also, with 11 minutes left in the third, Hill City, what a great season they have had. They're 7-1 coming into the postseason, and they lead Bonhomme 27-14.
Yeah, they like to score in whole bunches. It's not quite the game maybe they thought they were going to get, but like you said, right now they're ahead.
And moving on to Class 9A as we get through some scores quickly before the start of the second half. Howard defeats Timber Lake 60-6. And then Wolsey Wessington over Lemon McIntosh 50-20. Here's a surprise. With 8 minutes left in the fourth, Dupree 50, Hardin County Bison 22.
Yeah, and they played just a couple of weeks ago, so I think Dupree's coming back saying, look, we can play better than we did last time.
So that would be a big upset there.
One.
Also a final, Wall defeats Chester area 52-0.
Here's also another one, Phillip. A lot of people didn't pick Phillip to win this game, even though they're the higher seed, but they are winning at the end of the half, 30-14 over Centerville.
And then one last score in 9B with 5 minutes left in the third. Kadoka area over Burke, 32-6. So the Cougars appear they will be moving on as well.
And that was another one that they expected Burke to beat Kadoka, but Kadoka stepping up and saying, not so fast.
And again, stay tuned at the conclusion of our broadcast tonight. It'll be an extended version of Score Central with Matt Kearney right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. That's going to do it for the Consolidated Construction halftime show. We are ready to start the second half. It is Rapid City Stevens kicking off from right to left. Here's the kickoff. This is a squib kick. It's going to take a bounce at about the 15-yard line. It's going to be picked up by Gilbert White Jr. He's heading to this near sideline by the parking ramp. He's at the 25-30, down the right sideline, and finally forced out of bounds at about the 40. And the coaching staff of the Cobblers, they want a flag for a late hit.
Right, well, it wasn't a late hit. It was Gilbert White Jr. ran into his own player who was trying to block the Raider player there, and they were still blocking all the way to out of bounds, and that's what the coaching staff wants, a little extra activity out of bounds, and he's going to say, look, they were just blocking. We're good. We're going to walk on. So it didn't look good for Gilbert White Jr. as the ball bounces around a couple times. He struggled to pick it up, but he's able to get around the corner, made the first tackler miss, and got himself up the sideline, and good field position for the Cobblers.
So the Cobblers scored on 4 of their 7 first-half possessions. They'll have the ball now 1st and 10 going from left to right on their own 40-yard line. So some good field position after that return by Gilbert White Jr.
Again, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Raider defense here. how well they can respond.
There's the give to Catches. Catches through the gap on that left side, takes it to about the 45-yard line for a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Cobblers. They spot the football right on the 45-yard line, going from left to right.
They should just pick up, Cobblers should just right where they left off. It's going to be run left, run right, counter plays, power running plays.
Caden Matthew under center. There's the give to Binbo, and Binbo looks like he is going to come up just short of a Builders First Source first down.
I mean, what's working? Why fix something that's working really well? And that's what it is doing.
3rd and 1 coming up for Rapid City Central from their own 49. They need to get to midfield for a first down. There's Caden Matthew on the quarterback keeper. They like to do that. And from our angle, it looks like it will be a Cobbler first down.
Yeah, pretty easy play. You think about it. A lot of times, teams will come up when you got that little, 3rd, 4th, and short type situation, a yard or less than a yard. You'll come up from. It's like a call from the sideline. You know it. Everyone comes up. They look to the sideline. They say, give them a flash of signal, and they get up, and they just do the keeper, and they go for it, catch the defense off guard.
And that was a Builders First Source first down.
Start
your
play?
Next project at BLGR.com. Here's Caden Matthews at the 20, the 10, and he's in for the score.
That was a crazy play because the snap was off. He had to try to gather the ball. I don't know if it was designed that way, not the bobble, but for him to keep the ball. But he ran through all the way through the defense, cuts back to the left side of the field, and literally outruns the entire defense. Number one on that play.
51-yard touchdown run by Caden Matthew to give the Cobblers a 34-27 lead, awaiting the extra point by Duchnal.
Well, this game is right on cue. You get the ball, you score.
It's going to be a low line drive kick, but it's through the uprights.
That's his specialty.
It is.
Low line drive.
On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, with 10:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. It didn't take long, but the Cobblers go up by 8, 35-27. What can you say about Caden Matthew, his 3rd touchdown of this ball game?
Yeah, and if you think about it, this offense really isn't designed for those type of plays, but every once in a while you get the right block. Everybody's up so close to the line of scrimmage that if you can get past that first line and get the right block and make one man miss one way or another, and that's what he did, and he just literally outran using his speed. I mean, I knew he could run. He's got speed, but does he have that much speed? Either way, he showed it on that one. He's like, I'm running for daylight or light, searchlight, or whatever it is over there.
3 plays and 60 yards for Rapid City Central for the touchdown, as they now lead 35-27 over Rapid City Stevens. The Raiders have the ball. We'll see if they can answer. They've done that quite often tonight.
Right? Yeah, we've got, this is like Jeopardy. We've got more answers than questions here.
So Rapid City Central will kick off from left to right. Jack Day is switching with
here they go, the big
number
switch.
19. Here's the kick to that left side.
And he can't get it.
And it's going to go out of bounds, so there's your penalty marker.
Yep. That was number 19 over there, Brady Waddell, which they switched. It's got to be the last second. You see the coaching staff for the Cobblers, hey, he touched the ball. But it's funny because the coaching staff is all the way over here, 40 yards away. They think that they got a better view than the other one.
And that is a wrench law flag on the field. If you find yourself in a difficult legal situation, whether it's a DUI, criminal charges, or an injury case, you need the right lawyer on your side. With over 30 years of experience, Tim Wrench is a trial lawyer and will help you get the best possible outcome for your case. Call number 1 is to Wrench Law at 605-341-1111. wrenchlaw.com.
And they had the option. They chose to re-kick the ball 5 yards back and re-kick it, thinking, hey, we got a chance at a big return. We don't want to take the ball to 35. We can do better than that. So a good decision here by the Raiders. We'll see if it pays off.
Jack Day and Brady Waddell back deep again. This one is going to be a short kick.
I think we're going to get an offsides here.
It's going to be a penalty marker, yes. It'll be against the Cobblers.
Now we're 5 yards back, 5 yards farther. So, we talked about the mistakes the Raiders had in the first half. They had no penalties, so we'll give them that. Obviously, the two big turnovers that they had, but here the penalties kind of continue to mount somewhat for the Cobblers, like number 5 for them.
4th penalty I have.
4th?
Yep.
2 first half. They just had a penalty here.
Yep, so it is the 5th.
I was going to say they just had 2.
Yep, it is the 5th.
So now they kick it deep that time. It's going to be Jack Day. It's like, it's my turn. It's not Day. It's actually going to be Waddell. Here is Waddell, and he gets chased down from behind, crosses the 40, gets out to the 43-yard line. So still better than the 35. The Raiders take it, and that's where their offense will take over.
So we'll see what the Raiders can do here as they trail by a touchdown, 35-27. They will be 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line, going from right to left.
And again, we'll see if they can make that adjustment. They have to know where Jack Day is at all times. He basically, in general, has been the player that's kind of done everything.
Here come the Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. Jack Day lined up on the parking ramp side.
This is the little pistol formation. We see Cooper Meyer in the backfield. He's going to get the ball.
They'll give it to Meyer. Meyer at midfield, still on his feet as he plows down a Cobbler. He's at the 30, the 20, the 15, 10, and tackled from behind. They saved the touchdown, but what a run by Meyer.
Cooper Meyer, he lines up was the slot guy, pistol formation. He lines up with the slot guy. They just give him just an off-tackle run. He had plenty of room there. He runs over one, stiff arms another. He's low to the ground. You got to get low if you want to tackle him. Nobody did. He just runs through a couple of tackles and rumbling, not to quote Chris Berman, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, gets it down inside the 5.
Cooper Myers, a 5'10", 215-pounder. Here's the handoff to Johnson, and he's going to be wrapped up as he is tackled, or I should say stood up at the 2-yard line. So 2nd and goal now for Rapid City Stevens. The 3rd play of this drive coming up.
I can see a touch play right here to Jack Day. You're so close. Just throw the ball up in the air. He's got some height. Runs good routes.
Carter Johnson comes in late. Landon Ofsted, he's going to be lined up to the right. Jack Day to the left. Here's Austin Floor out of the gun on 2nd and goal. They fake the handoff. There's the pass to Ofsted, and he catches it for the touchdown.
A nice job. Again, it's just a drag route right across the middle. It is Ofsted catching it. I'll tell you what, that throw was great. It was right on the mark. The defender was draped all over him. He threw a ball low enough to where the defender couldn't get it, and a little scoop catch for Landon Ofsted.
So we'll see. I think we have a Cobbler. Was there a Cobbler injured out there?
Injured. The coaching staff's out there.
Number 7.
Bring him up. Oh, and you absolutely don't want to see that if you are a Cobbler faithful. Logan James. He's been a player for them defensively. Linebacker spot. He's one of the cover linebackers as well. And he's a little animated, saying, I don't know, somebody headbutted me, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to read his body language there.
He's talking to the trainer and the head coach there as they walk off together.
He's kind of holding his, I would imagine they're going to give him a little bit of a sideline concussion test here.
2-point conversion coming up. It goes right to Cooper Myers, and he goes
not
straight
make
forward,
it.
but he does
Did he?
not. Did he get in?
No,
we'll
I don't think he did. I don't think
There's
he did.
no sign from the
He got drugged down early. I didn't know if he got a second effort. They're going to look at each other. They're going to say, I don't think neither of them signaled touchdown. They're both going to say no.
Now they're waving no good. So that was huge. It's a direct snap to Cooper Myers. He tried to go straight into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, and the try is not successful.
So for all the things we just said about Cooper Meyer, he got the ball. He was high. He ran through there, had some power, but his pad level was really quite high as he got through it, and not able to blast where you need to. You have less power. When you're running high, you have more speed, but you have less power. And he's more of a power type runner, and he needed to just run people over, and he did not.
So, Dean, both of these teams, just picking, kind of picking up right where they left off in the first half. Each team has had the football once in the second half, and we've seen 2 more touchdowns.
Yeah, just everybody, both offenses just clicking really well. And as long as you can stay out of the trouble, whether it's turnovers, penalties, whatever it might be, missed assignments, if you can stay out of those mistake areas, this is going to finish quite interesting.
Absolutely. So Waddell will kick off for the Raiders, going from right to left, kicking into the wind. Back deep. I know we typically have Gilbert White Jr., and I think Henry Hill might be back deep.
I'm kind of surprised they're at the 10. I'm surprised they're not shorter.
This is a short kick. It bounces at the 20.
We're going to get another whistle, and this is going to be the Raiders' turn to be offside. It's going to be their first penalty of the day, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, he's kicking into the wind. I know he's got a good leg, but he's kicking into the wind. Why do you got your guys standing at the 10? They should be up. Now they move up to the 15 because it's 5 yards. I would think they would move up at least to the 20 because that's where the ball landed last time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see maybe there Gilbert White is talking to him. See if I can glance over and see who it is. They're talking about where to stand. Maybe a reverse coming up here as they're talking to each other.
So the ball placed back at the 35 now after that 5-yard penalty.
Was it number 20? Is Henry Hill 20? No, he's 11.
He's 11.
It's a 20-something.
Maybe is it Benbow? It's not.
No, he's too skinny for Benbow.
Here's the kick by Waddell. This one is going to be a squib kick. It's going to be picked up by White. He's at the 30, the 35, down the right sideline, the 40, 45, still on his feet at midfield. Forced out of bounds, but another nice return for Gilbert White Jr. to give the Cobblers good field position.
And that's kind of what the Cobblers wanted to start with. They had the bounder, what they wanted. It hit one of the up men who tried to field it, bounced by him. The guy that was the teammate of White Jr. kind of tried to get it, then he let it go, and then it actually took a great hop right into the hands of White, and he got a good run, right up the sideline there.
Can't wait to see Gilbert White Jr. I think we said he plays basketball.
Right.
Really looking forward to seeing him.
I'd love to see him play basketball if he does.
Yes. Here's Caden Matthew under center. There's the give to Catches. Troy Catches through the gap on that left side, takes it across the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 7 yards on the carry by Catches.
Again, if you're the Raiders, you have to come up. You have to do something to keep these Cobblers behind the chains. If they just keep pushing 3-4 yards at a clip, in which they've been doing that and even more up front, you got to come up. You want to stop a series, you got to come up with one big play.
8.5 minutes to go. The Cobblers lead by 2 here in the third quarter. I think we had a fumble, but Matthews
fell on it.
He fell on it. There was about 3 or 4, maybe 5 players there, but it looks like it'll stay Cobbler football.
Right, they were just trying that quarterback keeper that they usually do on second and short here. Still the same scenario here.
In fact, they may have went up just a little bit, so we're looking at third and short now for the Cobblers.
It's the fumble-rooski, or whatever that Raider play is called.
At the 36-yard line, Catches goes in motion again. There's going to be the give to Benbow.
Easy first down for Benbow.
That will be a Builder's First Source first down. Start your next project at BLDR.com. Replays, and that moves the chains for the Cobblers. 1st and 10 from the Raider 33. In that wing T formation, Matthew has Caleb Crawford go in motion. They'll give it to Catches.
There's
this time he's going to be wrapped up.
Coming in. Again, the counter play that time, but the Raiders did a good job at reading it on the backside. Austin Pigman was the first one there. And I didn't see the second guy, but there are 2 guys that just collapsed on Catches right away. And so, again, now the Cobblers are behind the chains. Is this going to be the play where they try that sneaky little offensive, the sneaky little pass play here.
Loss of 2 back at the 35. In motion. Here's the give. This goes to Benbow down the right sideline. Actually, that is not Benbow. That is going to be number 3, Caleb Crawford.
But we're going to get a penalty back at the line of scrimmage. I think right at the point of attack as he got around the outside. And it's a holding against the Cobblers. So another big penalty against the Cobblers. You had a chance here. And again, you don't want to get too far behind the chains. Obviously, that was a big play. It would have been a first down no matter what in general. But you can't get too far behind. Right now, you're just trying to keep up because you know the Raiders are able to score. You got to be able to continue to score as well.
6th penalty in this ball game for Rapid City Central compared to only 1 for Rapid City Stevens. Now the Cobblers looking at second.
It's one of these 2 plays here is going to be a pass play.
Second and about 20. They give it to Benbow, I think was the ball carrier. It is 21. Takes it just inside the 40 for a short gain.
You might be right about that kick return. Benbow doesn't look nearly as big as I thought he was. But he's a hard runner. He's like that running back, but he's kind of a fullback type runner, just a power back. Doesn't have blazing speed by any means, but he just runs hard.
3rd and long coming up from the 39-yard line for Rapid City Central. They need to get down to the 22. There's the give to Catches through the gap on that left side. Takes it inside the 35-yard line as they spot the ball at the 33.
No, this is 4 down territory. I don't think they're going to bring out Duchesneau to try to kick a field goal here and make it a touchdown lead. But they got a big play coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cobblers call a timeout. Guess who comes in the game? Gilbert White Jr.
Gilbert White Jr. comes in.
You got to know where he's at. We'll see where he lines up and who's going to be the cover guy for him.
4th and 9 from the 32-yard line of the Raiders. Rapid City Central comes up to the line of scrimmage. 5:25 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's a 2-point Cobbler lead.
He's the whiteout on the
Man
side.
in motion. They fake the handoff, rolling out to the left side and throwing deep into the end zone.
And they're going to
It is almost intercepted, but no penalty flags.
Yeah, they're going to want a penalty on that. Gilbert White Jr. was in the slot. He just ran a corner route or a post route, but continued that way. But he slipped and fell. The ball was well in the air. I was actually surprised that Matthew didn't take off running. When you took a look on the area, it was clear. There was nothing in front of him, and he didn't take off running. But Gilbert White Jr. just fell down, like you said. There was another receiver in the area, but it wasn't anywhere near as closer to the 2 Raiders, who wisely just let it go.
So Rapid City Central turns the ball over on downs. Rapid City Stevens has the football trailing by just 2 points with 5:11 to go here in the 3rd. Austin Floor out of the shotgun, 1 receiver to each side. Cooper Myers lined up to his right. It's a high snap over the head of Floors. Chasing it is going to be Devine.
Don't go backwards.
At about the 5-yard line, and he is going to be tackled.
Wow. It went from one mistake to another. The big penalty by the Cobblers negated that first down, forced that I guess 4 and out is what you're going to call it for the Cobblers. And now all of a sudden the Raiders return the mistake. By that second time of this game, that snap goes way over the top. In general, his snaps have not been bad, but all of a sudden, every once in a while, he just shoots it so far.
We're looking at 2nd and 37 now for the Raiders from their own 5-yard line. Austin Floor standing right at the goal line, takes the shotgun snap with a man in motion. That's Jack Day. Austin Floor actually takes the ball out, but he
barely gets out of the end zone.
Yardage. He is tackled at the 1 as he gets out of the end zone.
I think they were just going to try to create a little bit of room there. You saw the Cobblers kind of collapse down defensively, ready to collapse if Day got the ball, but they did not. He did not. Floor kept it and just tried to go forward. So now it's another huge play. 3rd down. You got, of course, a big pass play coming up here.
Trips right, 1 receiver to the left.
Quarters coverage here for the Cobblers.
Here's Austin Floor out of the shotgun. There's the snap, drops back. Actually rolls out to his right, throws, and it is incomplete. It's overthrown. to number 13.
Yeah, that's Hanslick.
Yep, Luke Hanslick was the intended receiver.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And Dean, I don't see any flags out there.
It didn't look like it, at least from that area. I think Hanslick wants a penalty, but I didn't see hardly any contact there with the Cobblers. But the ball was well over his head, was the throw. So now the big mistake, standing back with his heels just inside the back of the end zone, and you couldn't come up with a more important punt right here. We'll see the Cobblers come after him.
Second punt for Rapid City Stevens in this ball game. Gilbert White Jr. standing back at the 35-yard line, calls for the fair catch, and the Cobblers now will have great field possession to start this next drive.
So a couple of mistakes negated a couple of drives here, and we're kind of right back where we were at. Cobblers had the ball right in this area right after that mistake, but they got a fresh set of downs now.
Rapid City Central will be 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line. They lead 35-33. This is a great rivalry game. Last year the Raiders won that matchup 23-10. In fact, the Raiders have won the last 3 matchups, with the Cobblers last winning this rivalry game in 2020. There's the give to Catches, was it, or Benbow?
No, that's Benbow that time, but right, the big fella who can run the ball, but he's also can make some tackles. He's the defensive end. We're talking about Cooper Meyer there that time. Number 90 said, you're not getting away from me this time.
No gain on the carry. 2nd and 10 from the Cobbler, or the Raider 38 rather. Here comes Caden Matthew and the Cobblers up to the line of scrimmage. It's a tight formation, wing T with one receiver to the left. Troy Catches, goes in motion. There's the give to Benbow right up the middle. Has the first down as he takes it across the 30 all the way down near the 25-yard line.
And I think the Raiders, they did kind of go to that 5-man front. They went to a 3-man line and then 5 linebackers in who go to the outside, try to contain their run to the outside, but then they keep the other 3 inside. So you've got 6 guys right in the box there, 8 if you include the 2 outside linebackers, to try to negate this wing offense for the Cobblers.
Matthew under center. There's the give. This one goes to Benbow. Benbow down the right sideline, or are we talking about Crawford?
Nope,
actually,
Crawford
Caleb Crawford was your ball carrier. Crawford forced out of bounds at the 17-yard line. That is going to be about a yard shy of a first down. So 2nd and 1 will be the 4th play of this drive coming up. That's Benbow.
That's Benbow.
A penalty marker, though, back at the 15-yard line as he takes it all the way down inside the 5.
But we're going to get a hold against the Cobblers that time. It was kind of that scenario where Matthew comes up, he kind of waits just a second, lets the blocker get in front of him, then he gives it to Benbow, who cut in front. Everybody was heading that direction, but he found some room to run, but that hold is going to bring it back.
That's a wrench law flag on the field. If you find yourself in a difficult situation, whether it's a DUI, criminal charges, or an injury case, you need the right lawyer on your side. With over 30 years of experience, Tim Wrench is a trial lawyer who will help you get the best possible outcome for your case. Call number 1 is to Wrench Law at 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com. On 2nd and 10. It's going to be an ankle tackle there.
Yeah, that was Catches. The counter play they ran that time, Catches trying to get a spot there, but inside we've called his name quite a few times. Austin Pigman for the Raiders came in and forced him. I think he was going to leap over him, but he got just enough height that he tripped him up.
3rd and 9 from the 25 with 1:35 to play here in the 3rd quarter. One receiver to the left, of course, Gilbert White Jr. There's the give to Catches once again, trying to break it to the outside, but 2 defenders there to force him out of bounds.
I tell you, that was a great job that time. I believe that was number 45, Connor Haskell, was the first guy. He's actually the one that strung it out there. And then Colton Morling, who's kind of the safety, linebacker, hybrid, whatever you call him. When you're playing against this team, you got to come down and be a tough linebacker. He finished off the play that time and forced the 4th down. And again, 4-down territory for him.
4th and 9 from the 25-yard line. Caden Matthew under center once again.
Pass play.
Catches, goes in motion. Rolling out to this near side or ramp side is going to be Caden Matthew. He's going to tuck and run. He's going to be tripped up at the 25-yard line.
And that's going to be Austin Pigman again coming up with a big play. I think he was heading right toward the umpire, was right there, and then all of a sudden he just fell right at his feet, and Pigman was the guy that came up with it with a big stop. So another 4th down stop for this Raider defense.
So after an initial or a touchdown to start this second half by the Cobblers, they have back-to-back, they've turned the ball over on downs.
And they both have been led by penalties, holding penalties each time. One erased the 1st down, one erased another big play.
Raiders will have it now on their own 26-yard line, going from right to left. Austin Flohr out of the shotgun. Cooper Myers to his left. There's the give to Myers. Myers gets through the gap, still on his feet. He's at the 35 and tackled at about the 40-yard line.
Hey, forget about speed. Let's just give it to the power guy and let him make the runs. You know, they've been kind of platooning a lot of running backs, kind of in and out, trying to get the right one. Cooper Johnson probably getting the most, but you get Devine in there a little bit, opening day starter. And then all of a sudden, here comes Cooper Meyer out of nowhere. It's like, look, I can do this, coach.
8th first down of this ball game for the Raiders as they move the chains. That's a Builder's first source first down. Here's Austin Flohr on the quarterback keeper. He's at the 40, dives forward. He's going to be stopped at about the 41 or 40, actually, I'm sorry, 43 or 44-yard line.
Yeah, so they just took the same play and just went back the other way. Cooper Meyer did a great job. He's going to check out of the game. Same with Cooper Johnson, going to check out, but he did he just kept the ball that time. Everyone's zeroing in on Meyer. He keeps it, goes the other way. Did a pretty good job kind of negotiating the defense. They're able to pick up some yards.
2nd and 6 now from the 43. Flohr out of the shotgun, tight formation, 3-step drop, gets out of the pocket, and the pass is incomplete. I thought a Cobbler got a piece of it.
Yeah, it might have. That throw looked like he was going for Jack Day on that, but the Cobbler right there, the defender on it. And yeah, like you said, I think the defender they kind of run like a spy on Austin Flohr. So as he looks like he's getting out of the pocket, that spy kind of closed down on him. And I don't know if he got a piece of it or not, but the throw was not where he wanted it.
3rd and 5 from the 44-yard line. Flohr out of the shotgun once again, rolls out towards the bleacher side of the stadium. He's at the 45, still on his feet, forced out of bounce in Cobbler territory.
Yeah, but he's going to get a 1st down on that one. Good job by Austin Flohr using his legs that time. The Cobblers brought the house. They rushed the 2 inside linebackers, flushed him out quickly. Like I said, if you got to keep him in the pocket. He's got legs to use. Force him to throw from the pocket. If you blitz those guys up the middle and you force him to run out, he's going to make some damage.
4 seconds left in the 3rd, likely the last play of this 3rd quarter. Flohr out of the shotgun. There's the give. That's going to go to
Johnson,
and he is going to be tackled after a gain of 5 yards. There's your horn. That's the end of 3 here at Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. After 3 quarters of play, Rapid City Central leads Rapid City Stevens 35-33. We're back in 1 minute to start the 4th quarter on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
O'Hara Stadium to start the fourth quarter with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for spending your Thursday night with us. We're going to get a penalty marker. I believe this is going to be against the Raiders.
It's going to be a false start against the Raiders.
They haven't had a lot of penalties in this ball game.
A couple of hard counts there. They were trying to time it as they put Day in motion over there and just trying to time it. And I think Carter Johnson, the running back, actually moved as well.
Again, we want to welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. Looking at 2nd and 11 now for Rapid City Stevens as they are about at midfield. On the jet sweep, they give the ball to Jack Day. Jack Day turns back to his right. He's tackled as he crosses the 45, tackled at about the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to anticipate that the Cobblers were going to bring in that inside blitz. I think that they will run the ball to the outside. Day, a good job. Usually that play is designed to get to the outside. He kind of saw an opening inside, cut back, and picking up a couple of yards.
6th play of this drive coming up for the Raiders. They are looking at 3rd and 7 from the Cobbler 44. Floor tries to get the pass to number 13, but is thrown a little too wide there for number 13. That is going to be Hanslick.
Yeah, and the pressure, again, that time, I think the Cobbler linebackers timed the snap just perfectly, got through there, and was literally on his heels when he had to make that throw, and again, threw it wide and outside.
4th and 7 from the 44-yard line of the Cobblers. For the 2nd straight drive, the Raiders forced to punt. Gilbert White Jr. back deep for Rapid City Central. This one angled to the right. It's a high end-over-end punt. It's going to bounce inside the 20 at the 15. And finally, the Raiders down it at about the 14-yard line.
Perfect punt. Aside from the fact that you wanted it more like inside the 10 or 5, you get it away from Gilbert White Jr., dangerous returner, stick it somewhere else. I think that's just a great execution on special teams, which hasn't always been the case. But Waddell did a great kick that time.
So the Cobblers have kind of slowed down a little bit. They had that touchdown early at a 3-play, 60-yard touchdown. And now they've turned the ball over on downs twice. So we'll see what they do now as they lead by just 2 points and plenty of time left on the clock.
Yes, the offenses are kind of cooling down here.
Mm-hmm. Matthew with the give.
That's Crawford.
Crawford takes it near the 20-yard line. And it looks like about the 19 is where they will spot it for a gain of a pickup of 5 yards, rather. We have an injured Cobbler, I believe. Dean will bring out the binoculars. It looks like are they stretching out his foot?
Stretching out the
or
calves.
his leg, I'm sorry.
A little cramping here.
So they are tending to the injured Cobbler with 10:59 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Cobblers leading the Raiders 35-33 is the score.
Ben Papke over there talking with the official there. It's like, hey, can they hold me like that? That's usually what they're saying. Can they put their hands here? Can they do this? Are they allowed to do that?
So we've got a break in the action. Just a reminder, the South Dakota State University Jackrabbits football team attempts to get back to its winning ways on Saturday night as the Jackrabbits host the University of South Dakota Coyotes in the annual Interstate Rival Series. Kickoff is set for 6:30 Saturday night, and you can catch all the action on your home for Jackrabbits football, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Couple of ranked opponents there, the Jacks and the Yotes.
Mm-hmm.
Gronowski was talking earlier to Nate Brown earlier, and Nate said, "What's the big one, NDSU or USD?" And he's like, "I don't know. It was Bison for a while, but now the Yotes are a tough team."
Here's the Cobblers on 2nd and 6. They take the ball across the 20 to about the 21-yard line, maybe 22. It looks like they spot the ball just shy of the 22-yard line. 3rd and short coming up for Rapid City Central.
Again, they got to be able to move the ball down the field as this I mean, plenty of time, obviously, but as the clock ticks away, the Raiders obviously want to come up with a big stop because they're trailing here, trying to get themselves a good field position.
Matthew under center. There's the give.
Another big hit. I don't. Is that second effort going to get it? They just didn't stop.
The second effort by Waylon Binbo, and that is going to move the chains for a Builders first down.
It looked like he was stopped. Kind of nowadays, the officials are talk about, the extra activity that happens, and they, if their momentum is stopped, they want to kill the play, make sure it's done, and no extracurricular things going on. But that time, maybe he wasn't stopped enough. Either way, they did not kill the play, and Benbow leans forward and gets the big first down.
So now we're looking at 1st and 10 for the Cobblers. I'm not sure who the ball carrier was. He's going to be tackled at the 30.
It was catches. He kind of got through the hole, and then he got tripped up. Still got about 4 or 5 yards on that one.
The 6th play of this drive coming up for Rapid City Central. Ball placed at the 20, or 30 rather. 2nd and 5 from the 30 as the Cobblers hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Caden Matthew goes under center. There's the snap. There's the give to Gilbert White Jr. He breaks it to the outside. The ball is loose.
And the penalties.
But a penalty marker back inside the 30.
Some animated Raider sidelines here. We're going to see what all comes about with it. But he doesn't get the ball that much. But, boy, if he gets into the open space, he can make people miss and make something happen.
Looks like holding against Rapid City Central.
That's the 3rd straight drive in which they've had a hold penalty that negated something for them. Again, they get behind the chains, so they got to struggle. That's even as well as they're doing tonight at running the ball, and that line is just doing still a great job of moving people down the line of scrimmage and moving people backwards. It's so hard to overcome that penalty. I see Crawford over here on the sideline trying to stretch his leg out, so that's probably why Gilbert White Jr. is in the game.
8 penalties for 55 yards for Rapid City Central.
And usually we see Henry Hill. We haven't called his name.
We haven't
at all tonight.
Ball placed at the 24-yard line after that carry. We have the 6th play of this drive coming up. It's 3rd and 11 from the 24. They need to get to about the 35. The Cobbler 35 for a first down.
And this is White time right here. White Jr. GWJ.
Caden Matthew under center. Rolls out to his right, under pressure. And he is going to be sacked back at the 15-yard line.
A couple of big hits. Was that Luke Hanslick? No, that's number 12 on that one. Julian Riley. He was a second player. There was another one there first. I didn't see who the first guy was, but a big-time play, the rush. Again, you get that pursuit as Matthew tries to roll out and set up, but he doesn't have time to set up just because the pursuit is so quickly by the Raiders getting into the backfield, and now the Cobblers are forced to punt.
4th and 20 on their own 15. They will punt from the end zone. There's the punt. This one bounces at the 45-yard line. The Cobblers will down it.
Right at the 46-yard line, it looks like, where they'll set up shop. They're going to move it to the 45. But either way, now the Raiders, another golden opportunity, good field position, plenty of time on the clock here for them to get down the field. Again, all they need to do is get in field goal range. I hate to talk about end-of-the-game scenarios, but you're getting down to that moment. Got 7 minutes left. If they get within field goal range and they find themselves maybe in a 4th and long situation, this might be the time to come up with it. Again, the wind, which is not blowing nearly as much as it did before, still a little bit there.
1st and 10 from the 45. Here's Austin Floor out of the shotgun, spread offense. Takes the snap, drops back, looks to the middle of the field. Now he throws. It is up for grabs, and it is incomplete. A little high there for Marcus Kewell.
Yeah, he had plenty of time to throw there, but he's just taking a look and he airmailed that a little too much. Actually, I think the Cobbler defender, the safety that was behind him, had a better shot at it.
7:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. Still the Cobblers with that 2-point lead, 35-33. Cobblers trying to hold on and break that 3-game losing streak to the Raiders. Again, spread offense. Ofsted goes in motion. There's the handoff to Johnson. Johnson through the gap at the 40, the 35, still on his feet, the 30, and tackled just shy of the 25-yard line.
A nice little stiff arm, kind of right at the point of attack. He got past the line of scrimmage. There's a tackler right there. He stiff-armed him, and then there was one trailing him, and he kept going, and Johnson's actually down on the ground there, but he got some contact right about, I would say, about the 40, 35-yard line right in there, and he just kept kind of not dragging necessarily, but fighting his way through it, and the Cobbler defender finally able to bring him down at the 32-yard line. But again, he is down on the field, kind of face down at the moment. Did they kind of roll over now?
Over a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, the Raiders get the first down. They're 1st and 10 on the Cobbler 26. Actually about 26.5-yard line. Johnson gets up.
Not even so much as a limp, maybe a little bit, and his right knee a little bit is kind of shaken off, maybe his right ankle, but he's off. They'll get a new running back in there. Try to get at least within field goal range here. Again, 7 minutes, plenty of time.
Raiders have not led in this ball game. They have tied the ball game up, but they have not led. And right now the Cobblers maintain a 2-point lead, 35-33.
Yeah,
1st and 10 from the 26.
Sorry, Days to the left. It looks like Hanslick's to the right here.
There's the handoff to Cooper Myers. He gets through the gap. He's at the 20-yard line and takes it inside, close to the 15.
I'd love to see Cooper Myers get out there and run the ball. I know when I allow my linemen to kind of run the ball, it's usually not in the middle of the game, it's usually toward the end of a game or something like that. Boy, they just absolutely love it. You see, I look at them, I call their number, they look at me with this big smile on their face. All right, get in here, here's the play. You just get the ball and you run forever.
Floor again Austin Floor out of the shotgun. One receiver to each side. There's the snap. They fake the handoff. There's the option, the right side. This goes to Devine. He's at the 15, the 10, and he is going to be tackled inside the 10-yard line down to the 9.
Is that going to be a first down there? Nope, not quite there yet, but a nice little play there that time. You know, obviously they use Cooper Myers kind of a little distraction as they're trying to zero in on him, and did a good job of running that option there.
2nd and 3 coming up for the Raiders on the Cobbler 9. The Raiders knocking on the door, trying to take the lead for the first time tonight. Cooper Myers lined up to the left of Flores. He takes the shotgun snap. There's the give to Myers. Myers is going to be tackled from behind as he gets just inside the 10-yard line. Maybe got a yard. If not, he's going to be right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, a much better job that time. That was Easton Graff, the linebacker, who came in, filled well. And so it's kind of interesting. It looks like that when they get up there, that Austin Floor kind of surveys the defense, and then he moves Meyer to where he thinks going to be the best opportunities. I think he's looking to see where the linebackers are lining up.
6th play, actually 7th play of this drive. Austin Floor out of the shotgun, puts Cooper Myers to his left, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Floor's headed for the first down. He lunges forward. He's going to be stopped just shy of the 5-yard line. Dean, is that enough?
Yeah, if it's just shy, I don't think it is. So I think it's going to be 4th and inches, because I think the sticks are right at the 5, and they're going to say, yes, they're going to say first down. I see the chains dropping. There we go. Now he flips over to 1. Cooper Myers coming out, man. Too bad he wasn't going to stay in the ball game here. Just a power running game looks like where it needs to be here.
12th first down for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders with 4.5 minutes to play. They're trying to take the lead. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
You see Coach Moore running over there. I'm going to call a timeout here. They brought in, so Cooper Meyer comes out. They brought in another running back. Is that number 29? Is that Cruz Martinez? 29. I'm trying to read his number over there. But he comes in, Devine in the backfield. Obviously, Carter Johnson on the sideline for the moment. But they bring out Cooper Meyer, who's just been a great spark for them. Mm-hmm. They bring him out, bring up some other guys. Kind of scratching my head a little bit here.
Meanwhile, we got a moment just to update on some scores real quickly. 1 minute left in the fourth. Sturgis has the lead over Spearfish, 15-10.
Wow, that's a huge one. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be very disheartening for Spearfish if they lose this game. Not that Spearfish or Sturgis isn't a good enough team to beat him, but the fact that they were sitting so well in the point standings. They were, I think, at one point they were at the top.
I think they were. They had beaten Watertown,
right, a couple weeks ago. Now all of a sudden they've lost a couple of games. They lose to Pier. Now they're falling again, and that's just going to be such a roller coaster season for them.
Mm-hmm. First and goal from the 5, Austin Floor.
Just going to look to see who that is. Is it 29? It's another big. It is number 29. Is that Cruz Martinez? I think they got to reset the ball here. But yes,
I believe it is Cruz Martinez.
Cruz Martinez comes in.
First and goal.
You have to call his name all year or even see him get action.
He is lined up to the left. Carter Johnson behind him. There's the snap. They give it to Johnson. Johnson gets through the gap. He's going to be tackled at about the 2-yard line, maybe 3.
And Martinez just was the lead blocker there, and boy, did he get blown up. And, that's a job as a lead blocker, and Johnson's going to come out. Devine's going to come in, and that's the job of a lead blocker. Your job is to blow up the play in front of you, let your guy walk in.
8th play of this drive. Here's Devine, and Devine is wrapped up at the 5.
Again, at that time, see, coach is not happy coming down the sideline there. The penetration right up the middle. And again, Cruz, I haven't seen him play at all, but he comes in, and, that time, he didn't get blown up so much. Now he's going to come out of the game. He didn't get blown up so much, but the pressure by the Cobblers came right beside him and just destroyed Devine in the backfield.
3rd and goal from the 5 for the Raiders. They trail by 2 with 3:21 remaining. Floor out of the shotgun, rolls out to his left, and now Floor keeps it, and he's sacked back to the 7-yard line.
And that's one thing it's okay that he didn't score. He obviously wanted him to score, but one thing he couldn't do is turn the ball over, and he didn't. He took a look downfield and had a little bit of a crease and decided to run for it, but just got the collapse down. And so now they're going to line up here. Ofsted is the holder here, and we're going to have to call a timeout. No.
William Waddell with a 25-yard field goal attempt to give the Raiders the lead. Ofsted is your holder. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick by Waddell is blocked by the Cobblers. It is blocked by the Cobblers. Wow.
Right.
A chance for the Raiders to take the lead, and it's blocked by Rapid City Central.
And they took so much time in that possession that now they're down to 2 minutes and 27 seconds left, and they need a huge stop by the Raider defense. The Cobblers, they're going to need a couple of first downs here. The Raiders have 2 timeouts left, but the Raider defense has kind of stepped up lately. Now they're going to be called upon to do it again. At the beginning of this broadcast, I wouldn't have said that the Raider D needed to do something big, but now it is called upon for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It will be Cobbler football. They place it at the 5.
Going to keep it running. They just want to keep the ball running, make the Raiders use both of their timeouts here. Obviously, a first down would be devastating.
2:27 remaining. 1st and 10 from the Cobbler 5. Here's Caden Matthew on the handoff. Takes it out to about the 9-yard line on the carry.
See if the Raiders are going to call their timeout. They might wait. There's no 2-minute warning now. They instituted that in college football now.
Troy Catches was your ball carrier.
To echo what the NFL does, but that is not that way in high school, so no free timeouts. They're going to let the play clock run.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 from the 9-yard line.
And it'll be this one right here. If they get a big stop here, do the Raiders, then they will call that second timeout.
Again, Caden Matthew under center. Gives the ball to Benbow, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield.
Yeah, and another huge play. We've called his name all night long, Austin Pigman. The linebacker gets through, makes a big play. Raiders call a timeout. A big 3rd down play coming up for the Cobblers.
On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, 1:38 remaining. Rapid City Central leads Rapid City Stevens 35-33. We will keep it here. We don't want to miss any of the action. Just a reminder, of course, our post-game show coming up next, brought to you by Pioneer Bank and Trust, plus an extended version of Score Central tonight with Matt Kearney as he gets you up to date on all the scores from across the state, plus all the playoff action. It's going to be a busy night for Matt Kearney.
Yeah, a late night for him. He'll be driving home late. He might need a police escort to get home to avoid all the deer out there or something like that. But, he's got a lot to talk about, a lot of excitement. Of course, it is October World Series starting here shortly, and playoff football. And this, again, playoff game right here. Win and in, lose and go home.
3rd and 9 from the 6-yard line. Caden Matthew under center. There's the give. A little bit of running room, but the Cobbler running back is going to be up into just shy of the 10-yard line. And he is still down. He gets helped up.
Joshua Bender was another sophomore there, came up. Looked like he was the one who made the play on that one. There on the backside, somebody's helmet came off. A Raider, he's got to come off the field, so they got to come in with another one. Did the Raiders call another timeout? They used their final timeout, obviously.
Final timeout to stop the clock with 93 seconds left in this ball game.
So here's an opportunity. We're going to get to see the Raiders, quote, 2-minute or 4-minute or 5-minute, whatever you want to call it, offense. Can they execute it? A lot of pressure now is going to be on Austin Floor and the receivers. I think the line can hold up enough, but can Austin Floor diagnose a defense and put the ball where it needs to be to get at least back into field goal range and get another shot, at least for Waddell, to try to win the game for him?
Here come the Raiders out of that timeout. Now the Cobblers, they break huddle as well. They're heading towards the line of scrimmage after they're talking to head coach Brandon Colpitz.
I tell you what, some of the Raider faithful have kind of gone home, kind of shocking a little bit here. The Cobbler stands look pretty, still pretty packed.
Look pretty full. Here's the punt in the end zone by Rapid City Central. Back deep is Hanslick. He's going to let it bounce at the 40. It still continues to bounce, gets close to midfield and goes out of bounds.
Just crosses midfield. I think Hanslick really wanted to pick it up, at least to get a few extra yards out of it to make it a little bit closer. But the ball's at the 50. Legitimately, they got to get to the 30. That's a long field goal. Get to the 30, 25 maybe. You got a minute 24, no timeouts. Again, how good? Here's the big test. Has Austin Floor had this test? He has not had this, because when we did the Sturgis game, I don't think that situation, if I'm not mistaken.
He came in late in that ball game, I believe.
Yeah, he came in late, so there's a different scenario. But here's the biggest test for the young sophomore quarterback. Can he lead his team to victory?
Austin Floor out of the gun. They give it to Ofsted, now back to Floor, down the left sideline. He's at the 30-yard line and forced out of bounds.
And a drawn-up play, the flea flicker, the jet flea flicker, I guess is what you call it, because that's what he came back for. And nobody accounted for Floor as he went out. Again, he's an athlete. He's got some legs. He can make some plays down there. So a nice big play. He gets himself out of bounds. Minute, plenty of time left here. First down.
So it'll be first down for the Raiders. First and 10 from their own 30. The clock is stopped.
Again, the Cobblers, I don't think they're going to rush anybody this time, just rushing 4 and dropping back.
Floor out of the shotgun. There's the pass on an out route there, but it's thrown low, too low for the receivers. It's thrown at his ankles. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, they want to get a few. They got plenty of time. They just want to get a few yards each time. It's like their version of matriculating down the field. And like I said, in the pocket, surveyed the field. He knew exactly who he was going to go to right at the snap.
Jack Day lined up in the slot on the left side. Spread offense. Here's Austin Floor out of the shotgun. Ball on the left side hash. Rolling to his right is going to be Floor. Has a receiver, and it's incomplete.
He throws it behind the receiver. That's Hanslick that time, and he was wide open. If he throws it in front of him, Hanslick's got it. He might even waltz into the end zone for a touchdown, but instead, the accuracy on the run has not been there for Floor so far. He's got to be able to set up and make a throw. He's, again, just a sophomore quarterback. He's got a lot of skill sets, but right now still working on that, throwing the ball on the run.
Fourth play of this drive coming up. 3rd and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Cobblers. They give the ball to Ofsted once again. He throws to the left sideline, has a receiver. That was Hanslick, I believe.
No, that was
that
Waddell.
19, Waddell?
Yeah, that was Waddell on that side. Again, they were trying to not throw it back. Now it's a big 4th down. Field goal or go for it.
What do you do, Dean, in this situation?
I would say you got to give the shot at the field goal. I think they're going to go for it here, but I would say you got to give the shot at the field goal. I think Waddell has a great leg, and he can do plenty with it.
They're looking at a 4th and 3 from the 23.
And they can't call a timeout either.
And they're having a little
bit
of
They did not have the right personnel.
There. Down to 4 seconds and a penalty marker.
And that was huge for them because they didn't have the right people on the coming in. So they're going to get an illegal substitution for the Raiders. And now I think the Raiders are going to have to go for it.
Just the 3rd penalty in this ballgame. That's an illegal substitution.
Yeah, it was Waddell and Day were both over there. Did they have too many in? I couldn't tell because somebody ran off to the sideline and then somebody came back inside. And they're going to huddle over here. And they still haven't started the 25-second clock. They've marked it off. And that's what Coach Colpitz over there. Hey, the play clock isn't even started yet. What's going on here?
It still is not. Austin Floor out of the shotgun, spread offense. And do we get, they blow it dead. I'm not sure what they...
And they're going to give a timeout to the Raiders. They do not have a timeout.
I didn't think the Raiders had any.
They don't, and I don't even know what you do in that instance. You know, basketball, that's a technical foul if you call a timeout.
Coach Colpitz, I think,
is
still talking
hey,
to
they don't
the
have
official.
a timeout. And, you know, by our calculation, they didn't have a timeout either.
So unless they had a timeout that we weren't aware of,
right, that we didn't know of.
The scoreboard showed no timeouts left for the Raiders.
Yeah, I would think they would have used it had they known they had it. But it's beyond me.
It is going to be a crazy finish here at O'Hara Stadium.
Right, you know, obviously you got that big 4th down. The time isn't an issue, so to speak, so far. It's obviously the yardage, 4th and 8?
After that penalty,
they're obviously going to look.
8.
They're obviously going to look for Jack Day here, and like I said, you got to keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside. A late substitution. They are going to go for the big field goal. I said they got to get to at least the 30. I think he has the leg for it. It's going to be huge.
It is about a 45-yard field goal for the lead for William Waddell. The last field goal attempt was blocked from the 35. Ofsted is the holder. Here's the snap. There's the hold. The kick.
It's blocked again.
And it is blocked again.
Well, the kick was so low. I think it was the same thing last time. The kick was so low that it didn't even clear the lineman. So I think anybody could have blocked it. It couldn't be his own player.
that could have blocked it, but either way, the leg of Waddell, it becomes a non-factor because of how low he kicked it. It's going to go down as 2 blocked field goals, but I think you're going to be the fortuitous block for them.
And the Cobblers take a timeout with 57 seconds remaining. Of course, the Cobbler faithful on their feet across from us on the bleachers. They are ready to celebrate once again. We saw them celebrate for homecoming, and now that broke a streak, and now it appears that the Cobblers will break their 3-game losing streak to the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, as they are just 57 seconds away from a victory.
Yeah, and we're going to go back to our pregame talking about the keys to the game and being able to execute the mistakes. Obviously, 2 turnovers, but they, in general, have been able to kind of cover for that. But it's the kicking game. It's the poor execution. It was the punting game last week against O'Gorman that was one of the factors that really allowed O'Gorman to just run away with that game early on, turnovers and special teams. Now it's the same scenario here. They've missed 2 extra points, 2 field goals, and just, unfortunately, they aren't able to execute all the aspects of the game. It comes down to it. They had a shot at it. You think if they execute those things, they would come away with the victory tonight, but it's the Cobblers instead that are celebrating, or will be.
Caden Matthew takes a knee as they got in victory formation. He has to take the knee just once more.
Well, they wait to set the clock. He doesn't have to now. The play clock got set after the 40 seconds, so
okay.
He doesn't need to here because it's 2 seconds difference, and they see that, and they're like, we're not even going to line up. Don't even take a chance.
Just 2-second differential between the game clock and the play clock. And you start to hear it from the Cobbler crowd as they start to celebrate. Down to the final 5 seconds. And that is it. Rapid City Central holds on for the win over their rival Rapid City Stevens on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. The final score here at O'Hara Stadium, Rapid City Central defeats Rapid City Stevens 35-33 is your final. And just a fun football game here tonight to close out the regular season.
There's no doubt about that.
We are going to take a break. We've got a lot to talk about coming up in our Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show when we return in 1 minute, right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Z Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Z Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
And we want to welcome you back to Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium on this Thursday night with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for joining us as we welcome you to the Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support our local teams, and they're your trusted partner for all of your banking needs. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local. Visit pioneerbankandtrust.com. And boy, Dean, what another classic rivalry game between Rapid City Stevens and Rapid City Central. The Cobblers get the win tonight, 35-33, but it wasn't without the chances. The Raiders had a chance twice to take the lead, and they just come up short. Just the kicking was not on tonight for the Raiders, and the Cobblers hold on. They break their 3-game losing streak, and they finish now 2-7 on the season, while the Raiders dropped to 0-9 to finish the regular season.
It was an extremely exciting game tonight. You got to be able to play in all facets of the game. You got to be able to, obviously the offense, defense, and a lot of times the special team stuff gets overlooked. And I think if you talked about an advantage and you came in, you would have said that the Raiders have an advantage. Their kicker, I think, Waddell, just does a great job. He's got a great leg and everything. But when you're kicking a, 40, 50 yard?
45-yard
45-yard field goal. When you're kicking something like that, you got to get it low enough because you got to get the trajectory right. If you get it too high, it'll fall way short. So you got to change the trajectory. Well, the 2 times that he did it, at least on the go-ahead field goals both times, he just came out and just kicked it too low, and it ran into a whole pile of players, whether it was a Raider or a Cobbler, whatever it is. But 2 times in a row, opportunity, and it went by the wayside. But it kind of had foreshadowing when they went to kick extra points, and they missed 2 of them tonight. So that's obviously the difference in the ball game here. Could have been, a lot of bigger opportunities. But all in all, I think, both teams, it was interesting because it was such an offensive juggernaut in the first half, as just the offenses just moved down the field, did what they needed to do in all different ways that they could. Running games, passing games, obviously each of their own teams working to their own strengths. The play calling was good. All that looked, very good in the first half. And then you come into the second half, and all of a sudden the defenses kind of show up, and they made the necessary adjustments. The Raiders brought more pressure that time. I think the Cobblers were able to kind of drop back, a little better, and they did force Floor out of the pocket a little bit more, and that's kind of not his strength, is throwing the ball on the run. So, that forced a few errant throws, but they were there. They were able to move the ball. They won the at least in the second half, the field goal position, but just could not get to the spot where they needed to. So offense first half, defense in the second half. So, all facets, came together, played hard. Just unfortunately that just the kicking game wasn't there for the Raiders.
Looking at these 2 teams now and moving forward, of course, with the win, Rapid City Central, they improved to 2-7 on the season. And with Rapid City Stevens, they are now, they finish this season at 0-9. First off, for the Raiders, they faced a lot of adversity, like we mentioned in our pregame show. But I think they found with some of their young players, you look at Austin Floor, Jack Day, both of them just sophomores. But, looking at who's going to be leading this team coming next season. But now they have to look ahead and try to regroup and see what they can do for next year.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. Obviously, the turmoil, whether it's management, coaching staff. I know some players have left, decided they didn't want to participate in whatever was going on inside the locker room, outside, sidelines. There's a lot of that going on that's not for us to discuss, by any stretch of the imagination. But the turmoil was there, and they had a chance to finish kind of on a high note, and unfortunately they couldn't get that job done tonight. But, like you said, there is plenty of young talent. The downside is when you got all that turmoil and everything that happens, and between coaching and how the teams get coached. I know there's a lot of good, talented players. I'm not talking about the Raiders specifically, but there's a lot of good, talented players on football teams that leave because of either the way it's coached in general, a specific coach. There's a lot of those things happen. You get good talent that walk away from football for that very reason. And you hope that that's not the case. Or at least if that was the case here for the Raiders, some of those players that did leave, as sophomores or younger players or didn't get a chance to play or whatever and didn't like however things happened, would at least get another shot. You're going to have a new head coach coming in. We don't know what that is coming in, and whether it's a new system or whatever happens, it's the sky's the limit right now. And if I'm the athletic director for looking for people, although it's kind of early on, but he's probably got his eye out. He's got to start shopping. He's got to get things. You don't want something like you did last year. It was a last-minute hire, maybe not the perfect candidate for the job, but they just kind of pulled somebody in, and unfortunately it didn't work out, and it kind of caused kind of a stir amongst the Raider parents and all that stuff. So everybody's got to be on the same page, and so to get the right coach, to get everything going in the right direction, get everything established, so when you get rolling into the off-season, which, technically for the Raiders starts now, but usually through the summertime, you get in there, you get the players. You got to win them back. You got whether they left or maybe they were disgruntled and continued to play this year, whatever it is. You could obviously see plenty of talent. You already brought it up. We talked about Austin Flora. We talked about Jack Day. Just those two in general, they got to get a running game. The biggest thing for them is going to be their offensive line. All seniors this year, plenty of talent, maybe kind of underperformed their talent level that they had. They're now going to move on. We talked about Elias Gillen getting a look at Texas Tech. We wish the best for him as he moves on. But they got to reshape that offensive line. Use the next players coming up to kind of set that tone. That's going to be the biggest question if you talk about X's and O's. Who's going to be playing line for them? Because they had all seniors this year. So if they can complement that with the skills they have at the other areas, obviously Austin Flora is going to be able to make plays. We're not sure what's going to happen with Jed Sullivan if he's I didn't even call his name tonight, so I have no idea what's going on in that scenario, if he's going to be part of this team next year. He's got plenty of skill. What that's going to be, who knows? But there's just a lot of things that have to take place. I think they're probably going to let things cool down, and then obviously, the athletic director's got to step up and say, all right, we got to search high and low, not be in a hurry to grab somebody, but we got to look around. It's not a good environment to go into, over there at Stevens with, parents and players and all that stuff that happens, but you got to get the right guy in there to to lead this talented crew. I've said it from day one since I've walked in here. And everyone talks about what's wrong with West River football. Well, it's not for lack of talent. It's not. We have tons of talent here in Western South Dakota, and even at Stevens High School that can come out. Obviously, Post 22 does a great job. They got a lot of talent. St. Thomas More took a lot of those players this year. The Raiders can do the same. A lot of talent. You just got to get them going the right direction. You got to win the parents. You got to get the management, everybody going in the right direction. It isn't per se the development, but that is some of it. But you got to be able to get everybody on the same page, and that's going to be at who gets hired there. And it can take this young, talented crew of Raiders and turning into a competitive team next year.
And time will tell for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Again, the final score tonight on the Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show. Rapid City Central defeats Rapid City Stevens 35-33. Let's take a look at today's box score. It's being brought to you by The Box. The Box Elder Event Center is the most innovative facility in the Midwest, featuring hardwood courts and great space to host multiple games. The Box is the premier youth sports venue in the area, but sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can cater and host any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. Looking at the scoring real quickly in the first quarter, Caleb Crawford ran it in from 9 yards out to put the Cobblers up with just a minute into the ballgame, 7-0. Then on the ensuing kickoff, Jack Day goes 81 yards to pay dirt. The extra point no good. It was 7-6. The Cobblers led by 1. With 6:54 to go in the first, Caden Matthew, a 21-yard touchdown run on the quarterback keeper. The extra point was good, and Rapid City Central goes up 14-6. Then with 4:27 to go in the first, Jack Day in the corner of the end zone, a 24-yard touchdown catch, 14-13. The Cobblers led by 1 at the end of the first quarter. Moving on to the second, with 7:55 to play, it was Gilbert White Jr. on a 14-yard touchdown pass. Cobblers go up 21-13. Then Aiden Devine on a 3-yard touchdown run for the Raiders just a little over 2 minutes later, and we are tied at 21. With 1:26 to go, Rapid City Central scores on a 5-yard touchdown run by Caden Matthew, his second of the day. It was 28-21 at that point, but with 8 seconds remaining, Jack Day on the receiving end, his third touchdown of the day, a 13-yard touchdown strike, 28-27. The Cobblers led by 1 at halftime. The scoring picked up, I should say we had scoring right away in the third, then it kind of vanished there. But with 10:28 to go in the third, Caden Matthew, a 51-yard touchdown run, 35-27. The Cobblers up. At 9:08 left in the third, Landon Ofsted on a post route there, a 2-yard touchdown catch, 35-33 is your score. And that is the way we end the ball game, with the Cobblers holding on for the 2-point win to improve to 2-7 on the season. Dean, as we look at some other stats real quickly in this ball game, for Rapid City Stevens, they had 13 first downs, and Rapid City Central also 13 first downs. Penalties, the Raiders had 3 penalties for 15 yards, and Rapid City Central had 8 penalties for 55 yards. Now let's talk about the Cobblers as they get set. They move on to the postseason after 3 years with no victories. They break the streak. They go 2-7 now, and they make the postseason. What's it look like for the Cobblers?
Well, obviously they are who they are. It's not a mystery. They're not going to come in and they're not going to light up the scoreboard, although 35 points tonight, they did a great job. They're not going to light up the scoreboard. They are going to have to ground and pound, take care of the ball, shorten the game. They got to go against Sioux Falls Lincoln, who ended up beating Harrisburg tonight. So Lincoln will be the number 2 seed. The Cobblers will be the number 7 seed. So they killed the losing streak. They killed the streak against the Raiders. Mm-hmm. They ended up beating Washington this year with that one. They're not the number 8 seed. They're actually the number 7 seed with that win over Washington. A lot of good things going on for the Cobblers. Again, they do something, they do it well, and then they use it to their advantage, and that's what they have to do. They have to be able to make the game short. They have to do their best they got to grind the ball out, keep the offense on the field, and keep the Lincoln offense off of the field. So if I said that right, the Cobblers have to keep their offense on the field and keep Lincoln off the field. Because the woes, obviously, it shows tonight, the woes of the Cobblers defense. I think the D-line still does a pretty good job. Shea Roberts has made those guys work really hard and are able to do a lot. So they can do well, but it's going to be their secondary. It's going to struggle. And obviously with the quarterback and the receivers and everything, the talent that the Lincoln Patriots have, it's going to be a struggle. So they have to keep the game close. They have to shorten it. They got to keep down the big plays by the Patriots. They can't make any mistakes on their own, and they have to be able to make the game short and come up with a couple of big opportunities, forcing turnovers or whatever it may be. Those are probably the 3 biggest keys for their victory if they expect to travel to Sioux Falls next Thursday,
Halloween night,
and scare the snot out of the Patriots.
So again, they will be heading to Sioux Falls as Rapid City Central takes on Sioux Falls Lincoln. Of course, they will announce the time of that ball game once they get all the playoffs determined for each of the classes. But that's next Thursday night, Rapid City Central at Sioux Falls Lincoln. Again, the final score, Rapid City Central over Rapid City Stevens, 35-33. The Cobblers now 2-7 on the year. The Raiders finished the season at 0-9. Let's take a look at the Highmark highlight of the game, being brought to you by Highmark Credit Union. Highmark offers Spirit debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. And every time you use the card, Highmark makes a donation back to that school. Show your school spirit and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com. And this is our Highmark highlights of the game.
Here's the kicker.